In this desert town founded on entertainment and dreams of fortune, the NASCAR Camping World Trucks are the headline act in tonight's Las Vegas production. Welcome to Glitter Gulch. Yes, that's what one of the early nicknames was given to Las Vegas back in the 30s. Now, the Neon Garage is the name we associate with this technologically advanced facility just a few miles northeast of the Strip. And I have a spectacular view of it all from high atop the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Allen, and this is the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series setup. Let's get right to tonight's headlines. With just 6 races to go in the season, James Buescher may have made the biggest statement last week when he won again on a 1.5-mile track, sweeping the Kentucky races. While Buescher was celebrating, Timothy Peters and Red Horse Racing were scratching their heads, wondering how to stop the negative slide that this team is on. And can a rookie win this championship? Ty Dillon has been the most consistent and at times the most dominant driver on the track. And so we've got dominant drivers in the field, but we've got a lot of other storylines. And, of course, we had qualifying yesterday, and our pole winner, Joey Coulter, is standing by with Hermie Sadler. We're going to hear from Hermie and Ray. Let's start with Hermie.
Well, Joey Coulter, you guys have been top of the speed chart since you've been here, practice, qualifying. Have you guys even changed a bolt on that truck since you've been here?
Luckily, we didn't have to change much right off the truck. It's the guys at RCR has given us a great piece, and, of course, that ECR power isn't hurting us at all. It's just been a dream to drive. We struggled last year here a lot, and we came back with a whole new game plan, completely different truck, and so far so good.
That's Joey Coulter, already 1 win this year. Looking for number 2, Ray.
You know, Hermie, this is pretty cool. We're standing up in the grandstands, and the drivers are actually going to walk down through the crowd to have driver introductions tonight, and a lot of people here at Las Vegas Speedway. And many of them are going to be rooting for this guy. David Mayhew gets his first start tonight driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports. And you've had some good rides in the past, but this weekend I've been listening to you, and you said this is a winning truck. How exciting is that?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Kyle Busch, Toyota, Dollar General, just to give me the shot to come out here and prove myself in a great team. I mean, the truck from the minute we unloaded has been awesome. Eric's first couple changes with the truck were spot on and just kept getting better throughout practice, so I'm real confident going into tonight.
Keep in mind, Rick, the 18 truck is not won this season. David Mayhew behind the wheel tonight here at Vegas.
You're right, Ray, and David Mayhew has not won, but if David Mayhew wins, it could be the 8th different first-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series. Well, coming up here on the setup, including, well, James Buescher and Turner Motorsports visiting one of the most famous racetracks in the world. Nope, it's not a stock track. It's Churchill Downs. We'll tag along.
How many people come to the Derby?
165,000. About 80,000 of them head out to what's called the infield, and 99% of them don't see a horse all day, but they don't care because they're out there for a different reason.
Tailgating.
You better believe it.
And we'll handicap Red Horse's chances of a championship in light of the recent struggles on the track. Over the last 3 races, the 17 team has lost 51 points to now points leader Ty Dillon. That's all just around the corner right here on the setup. The setup is brought to you by Camping World and Good Sam. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, and roadside assistance. Timothy Peters has led every lap. It's going to be a big win at Bristol.
He's on top of the world right now. Top of the point standings, too.
On a high, and then problems ensue.
Problems for our point leader. He's been slowly falling back. He is reporting losing power under the hood.
Those guys battling for position.
Oh, we got a crash off turn 4. Crafton and Peters in the wall. Point leader into the wall.
We've got spinning truck.
Hard contact. Timothy Peters. Look at that truck up into the air.
Parker Kligerman's first ever pole. Kligerman has been dominating. He's led every lap. Kligerman needs to get to victory lane. Kligerman slides on the front straightaway. Problems with that truck. Was running in the 4th spot. Oh, Bodine around.
Todd's had a lot of bad luck here lately. Nothing Todd did that time to deserve that.
Contact. Oh, Todd Bodine goes around.
We're trash, guys.
Every week, it's something every damn week.
All three of the Red Horse trucks have had issues over the past few weeks. They need to get back on the horse. Timothy Peters was your points leader after Bristol, and then the past 3 races, not a finish in the top 10. Now 26 points out of the top spot and in 3rd in the points. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Well, the last 3 races for Timothy Peters, 13th, 19th, and 21st. But you told me on speed last week that what you guys are going through would not kill you. It would make you stronger. And if qualifying's any indication, that's step 1.
Last time we started second, we led all the laps and won. So hopefully we can repeat that here tonight. But really, Herbie, we just need to get a good finish. Our Toyota Tundra, strutmasters.com Toyota Tundra is really good. Butch Hilton and all the guys really worked hard. Just kind of, you know, taking it all in, what happened at Kentucky. And like I said there, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, and we're definitely strong. Getting momentum back on our side. We're definitely confident that we can pull this off come Homestead. So hopefully complete all 147 laps tonight, and who knows, maybe be over there in Neon Garage at Victory Lane.
How much do you pay attention to what you're doing, but also keeping an eye on the guys you're racing for the championship?
Right now, we need to just race smart. As my owner, Tom, says, race patiently aggressive. But right now, we need to get some wins. Mile-and-a-half win has been eluding us, so hopefully we can do it at Vegas. What better town to change your luck than Las Vegas? And, you know, hopefully when Homestead gets here, we hoisting that trophy.
That's Timothy Peters. He still thinks he's in the middle of this championship battle. Ray?
And I am standing by with his teammate. This is Parker Kligerman, and I'm not going to remind you that you've had 5 second-place finishes, okay?
I appreciate that, Ray. Everyone's been bugging me about that one over last week. So, you know, it's your job to bring those sorts of things up, but I think we have the Toyota Tundra tonight to go out and change that statistic that you gave me, which was we'd finished second 5 times. So we didn't get the best qualifying position. You know, at the end of the day, this qualifying here, how much grip there is, it's just a flat-out low-line affair. It's not indicative of the speed we have in our race truck. We were top 2 yesterday, so hopefully we can put everything together tonight and throw the dice and roll up first. But I'll say we obviously have a great crowd out here tonight doing this interview from the stands. This is really fun, so I'm excited. I'm jacked up. It's Las Vegas, man.
4th in points and 30 out. Are you still thinking championship?
Absolutely. Everything I do is about the championship in this deal. You know what I found out, though? If I win every race from here on out, there's nothing they can do. I win the championship. So I'm here to lead the most laps, or lead a lap, lead the most laps, and win the race, and that's what we're going to do week in, week out, and hopefully when we come to Homestead, we'll win this deal.
When you get the win, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to give you any more stats, okay? That's all you need to know.
Hopefully we're talking about amount of win stats. That would be nice.
All right. Parker Kligerman rolling off from the top 10 tonight and hoping to gain some points here in Vegas.
And Ray, you saying that if Parker Kligerman wins, you won't give any more stats, has a lot of people wondering if that's an actual true statement, because I think you're going to give some more stats. Well, let's venture back here to Las Vegas, and it is the home of Brendan Gaughan here in Vegas. Brendan, very close to winning the championship in 2003, just 70 points away when that championship was really taken away from him. We know he's a great driver. He's also an entrepreneur here in the Vegas area, just as his family before him. We happened upon a business deal that took place yesterday. Thought you'd like to listen in.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. Mr. Childers just called and said, I get to drive my food truck at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway this weekend. Come on, let's go.
I'll take some Southern Fried Okra.
Fried okra right there.
Thank you.
Thank you, bud. Mark, what do you want today?
What are you doing over here?
Richard told me I could drive the food truck today.
It's the 2 truck, Brendan. The 2 truck.
The 2 truck?
The 2 truck, not the food truck.
Oops. Azeel, I gotta go, man. Let's go. Hurry up.
Come on.
Who came up with the name? The Rusty Pickle. We're a big deal. Pretty good play on words there. Well, obviously very impressive, though, for Brendan Gaughan and the whole family here in Las Vegas. Tomorrow, race day is asking NASCAR fans to be a part of the broadcast. Make your voice heard in the Speed Live vote during the Ultimate Pre-Race Show in Dover. Tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, and go to speed.com to get in on the fun. Still to come on the setup, the Turner Motorsports jockeys get a guided tour of the home of the Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs. We'll be able to walk with them through that historic track. And up next, one of the craziest athletes in the world is going to take on the Truck Series. Travis Pastrana, Action Sports Star, is our spotlight driver this week in Vegas.
Coming up next on the setup, the spotlight with me, Travis Pastrana. First time in a truck. Woo-hoo!
Welcome back to Las Vegas, the city where everyone dreams of hitting it big when they first arrive. Well, one of our drivers in the field tonight has already hit it big in his first career choice in the extreme sports. Well, Travis Pastrana, the 28-year-old out of Annapolis, Maryland, has 11 gold medals in the X Games. And 4 times he has won the Rally Car Championship. His next obstacle to conquer, NASCAR. He's running the K&N Pro Series and the Nationwide Series, but tonight will be his debut in the NASCAR Camping World Trucks. And we tracked his progress throughout last night's practice and qualifying.
Man, I tell you what, Matt Kraft has been working with me from the very beginning, and always said, you got to get in a truck, you got to get in a truck.
He was already out here doing the rally stuff. I said, why don't you come out here and race the truck and find a little bit of money and put it together.
So all in the last 2 weeks, called Red Bull AM, PM, KMC, everyone came together, and it was fun out there.
We're just about ready over here. How close are you, Travis?
Yep, I'm in, ready to go.
Come on back whenever you want.
3269. All right, tell us what you think right there. What do you got?
Definitely going to need to put a little bit more time in getting my line right. I was tight, but I think it's because I was 50 on the arc in.
Yeah, that arc in is really helps the center. So the more you can stay out, the better it gets through the center. So just keep that in mind. You'll figure all that out.
I was really impressed. I mean, because he went out and he took his time and just immediately got up to speed pretty quick, really, and did a really nice job, and he gave really good feedback to the guys.
It's amazing that it's a very similar motor to the Nationwide car, but with all the downforce, you fly through the corners.
Travis did an awesome job. I mean, he picked it up slowly. I mean, went out there and he was a little bit off the pace, but he understood where he was off the pace. And we communicated a lot throughout practice.
So what do you think there, Spanky?
Pretty awesome, man. Definitely run super high coming in, so I need to get my arc better. So I'm going to work on that before I tell him to change anything with the car.
Therefore, it's a truck, not a car. Just letting you know.
3260, 3210, 3145, and a 3112.
He actually was very, very good right there at the end. I mean, lap time wise on old tires got a lot better. So I think he's gonna have a pretty good race truck.
I think his line's fine. He picked it up really quickly and knew where his shortcomings was. I think his biggest challenge we just need to get a good qualifying run here.
3107 on lap 1, 3103 on lap 2, P2 right now.
Not too bad, guys. Hey, thanks.
I think we're gonna do good. The balance is really good and it drives real good, so that's the main thing. Get him something that he's out there comfortable and he can race around other trucks, and we'll just see where we end up.
I've never been on a track so far with the vehicle that you can hold it wide open, and with new tires here you can hold it wide open on both sides, and it's scary. It's not like easy to hold it wide open. It's right on the edge, but I think we got a pretty good setup with these guys, and look forward to the race.
Travis Pastrana, one of the most talented drivers in the world, a 4-time American Rally Car champion, 2001 Supercross Lights East champion. He's already had 9 starts in the Nationwide Series, and he's done pretty well in the Toyota All-Star Showdown, as well as the K&N Pro Series East and West. Well, last week in Kentucky, we followed one of the hottest teams in NASCAR to one of the most historic racetracks in the world. Not a stock car track, but Churchill Downs. And when they give the command to fire engines in the stock car world, everyone's adrenaline shoots up. Well, in horse racing, this is how they started.
We got all of our drivers from Turner Motorsports here at Churchill Downs. We got our friend Barry that's going to give us a tour.
First of all, welcome, guys. Glad to have you here. But my plan is to go to the paddock area. That's where the horses saddle on Derby Day. And from there, we're probably going to make our way out to the winner's circle and eventually get up on one of the fourth floor balconies beside the famous Twin Spires. So you guys are ready. You can follow me. We're going right through this door here. So any of you been here for a Derby before?
Have not. Well, these two are going to be in it next year.
They keep teasing us that we should be jockeys.
Jockey up.
This area we're going now is called the paddock area. This is where the horses come and saddle before each race. Right out in the middle there, it's just packed wall-to-wall people. As soon as the gates open at 8 in the morning, they flock in to get into this area because you'll get to see every horse. They all have to come in and out of here. You'll see the owners, the trainers, celebrities, all the jockeys. So for my money, this is the place to be on Derby Day.
How many people come to the Derby?
165,000. About 80,000 of them head out to what's called the infield, and 99% of them don't see a horse all day, but they don't care. They're out there for a different reason.
Tailgating.
You better believe it. You see that little green building right next to the light pole?
Uh-huh.
That's a holding cell. There's 4 of those holding cells out there in the infield for the unruly people on Derby Day.
Oh, wow. Kind of like the infield of Talladega.
Yep, probably so. Probably so. There's 47 barns over there. There's stall space for 1,440 horses over there.
Holy cow.
And you also have probably 500 or 600 people that live back there. And they're the people that take care of the horses. So we have dormitories back there. We have a learning center back there where we teach English and computer skills. There's a restaurant back over there. There's a church. So it's kind of their own little village back over there on that other side of the racetrack.
Wow. Well, thanks, Barry, for giving us a tour. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed getting to see Churchill Downs.
Well, I hope you all make it back sometime, and I'm going to have to make it to one of your all's events here soon.
You know, I also think Justin Allgaier and Brad Sweet would make good jockeys. They know how to turn left already. They know about horsepower, and they're both under 5'5". So I think they're well on their way to maybe another career riding horses. Monday night, the hub is Chase Central as Larry Mack, Elliott Sadler, and Matt Clark break down round 3 of the championship battle. Plus, get an exclusive inside look at the Dover race with Michael Waltrip Racing All Access. NASCAR Race Up Monday night, 6 Eastern, only on Speed. Coming up, the experts make their picks on who will win tonight's race. And I'll take a guess, too. Will it be Timothy Peters? How about Matt Crafton, always good on the 1.5 miles? Or a new face in Victory Lane? We're about to find out. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada. You're in the desert. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, right on the edge of Nellis Air Force Base. As a matter of fact, they call the backstretch here Nellis Straightaway, which means they go real fast when they head down that track. Very interesting racetrack, and we always love to come back here to Vegas. Another track that we enjoy coming back to, that we're going to go back to in 2013, is Rockingham. It was announced that Rockingham Speedway will be on the schedule in 2013. And if you remember, Casey Kane went back to Victory Lane from the Rock earlier this year. Speaking of Casey Kane ending up in Victory Lane, Ray actually chose him as his fantasy pick, and that gave him one of his wins. He has 3 and is on top of the standings with Phil. And of course, you see my name down there at the bottom, and I'm 7 points back. So it's time to make our picks. So I brought in my favorite guys here.
Whoa.
No, it's time to make our picks, right? Oh, okay. Here, it's time to put Phil's sticker because Phil had the highest finish of any of our picks last week. So let's put Phil's sticker inside.
Whoa.
You don't want it inside?
Whoa, no. Put it over top of Michael's. No,
How about we put it right here?
Okay, that's fine.
We're going to put it right there because that's a good spot. Okay.
Right there.
So we've got Phil's sticker on the helmet. Nice job. It's my turn to pick. Ty Dillon said that no one can pick him other than Krista, and Michael picked him last week, and it ended up working out pretty well. So I picked Ty Dillon as my fantasy pick this week.
Way out on a limb there.
I got to take somebody who I know is going to finish top 5 or better. And because Krista's not here, she has actually tweeted her pick in. So Krista is second to choose. And her tweet says that she will take Brendan Gaughan in the 2 truck. Come on. Isn't he like the mayor of Las Vegas? Gaughan cashes in. Miss you guys. All right, Hermie, it's your turn. Who are you going to take this week?
Well, I've already talked to him in the show. Timothy Peters, this 17 truck, I think is too good to keep down. And I want to get a sneak in here. You should have left your hat on a little bit longer. You got hat head.
I know it. I give it to one of the kids coming down through the grandstands.
Well, we'll let you slide for that. But I know you didn't have enough pressure on you to begin with, but you're my pick for tonight's race, fantasy pick. And from one Virginian to another, I need a win.
Well, we're going to do it, Hermie. I appreciate it. And I think it's the camaraderie we got because we're from Virginia. You know what I mean? So we're going to really work hard. Our strutmasters.com Toyota Tundra is really good. So I'm going to pull it off for the hometown boy.
Well, there we go. Looks like we don't even need to throw the green flag, Mikey.
I'm going to go with Hungry Eyes, y'all. That's Matt Crafton. I looked him in the eyes a year ago, knew he was going to win the race. Saw him a little bit earlier today. He had that look again. Guess what, guys? In the first 4 races of the year, he had only 1 top 10 finish. In the last 11 races, only 1 time has he been outside the top 10. He finished second at Texas on a 1.5 miles. And boys, in the last 3 races, he's been second here twice. Matt Crafton, Hungry Eyes is my guy.
Mikey, I'm going to take a guy that's finished in the top 10 5 of the last 6 times that we went to the 1.5 miles. And as a matter of fact, he was the fastest truck in practice. We heard from him earlier, and he's on the pole. Joey Coulter will win number 2 right here in Las Vegas.
All right, let's go to Ray because Ray is the co-leader. Ray, who are you going to pick for tonight's race?
Well, tonight, guys, I made a little error when I was talking to Parker Kligerman earlier. I said he starts in the top 10. He does not. He starts 14th. But that doesn't matter at all because he had a great truck in practice. And I'm going to go with Parker Kligerman tonight. The guy has finished second 5 different times, and I think he's about ready to break that streak tonight. But what I really can't figure out is how come none of you knuckleheads pick this guy? I can't pick him because he already had a win this year. But last week, you could have picked him, and this week, they could have picked you. And guess what, James? Nobody picked you again.
It worked out last week, so hopefully we can get up there and win this thing for Great Clips and everybody on this 31 team to win back-to-back races is something we haven't done yet. So we have a new goal, and beyond that is to win the championship, and the best way to do that is to win races. So I think it's going to be great.
Okay. Parker Kligerman's 14th, he's 15th, and both of those guys have really, really fast trucks. Rick?
Thanks, Ray. I'm glad you threw it back to us as Rick because knuckleheads I thought was going to be the term that you're always going to talk to us. Hey, 4 points separate Ty Dillon right now and James Busher. 3.5 mile tracks still to go this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we talk about why didn't we pick James Busher. He's the chalk when we're talking about horse racing. Right. He is the favorite. He's won 4 of the 7 races we've had so far. But Ty Dillon is right there behind him with average finish, so it's going to be a race right down to the end.
And is he concerned about that 15th place starting position? Who knows? It could be tough racing to the front from there.
Thanks for joining us on the setup. The race is right now.
Man, I don't know. Our luck this year has been horrible.
Call him 5 times and see how we can change our luck, dude. He's the only one that knows.
Good idea. He's got to know.
JJ, 4 time and 2 time here. Go 9, Hornaday. What do we got to do to change our luck?
Right. Hey, over here. I got 4 horseshoes. 4. That's good luck right there. We got 4 of them here.
I'll go get a pair of pliers.
All right, get some pliers. We'll be good.
I think I'm in the wrong stall.
3 leaf. No good.
That's part of our course of our luck right there. We can only find 3 leaves. Can't find no 4 leaves.
That's our year.
There's the Big Dipper right there.
That's cool, but we got to have a shooting star. That's the only way you get better luck that way. All right, I got a wishbone. If we break this, whoever gets the short side is going to have bad luck.
I don't know if I want to do this.
I don't think I want to do it either.
Can the champions get lucky in Las Vegas? Find out right now, live on Speed.
Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. The Smiths 350 about to get underway from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. An absolutely gorgeous afternoon and evening scheduled for tonight's race. What do you need to keep your eye on? Well, how about Parker Kligerman? He has been so close 5 times, finished second 5 times, but hasn't been to victory lane. Could he be the next first-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series? Or will things change for once points leader Timothy Peters? Can he get back on track and get back into a top 10, maybe even top 5 finish, or into victory lane? He's one that we're going to keep our eye on tonight, as well as the 3. Is he the favorite to win the championship. It would be the first time ever that a rookie has been able to claim that title. Let's go trackside for today's pre-race.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps. Yesterday, the motorsports world lost one of its true pioneers and greatest journalists, Chris Economaki. Known as the Dean of American Motorsports, Chris was a great friend to many, including the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and was instrumental in growing NASCAR's popularity. He and his one-of-a-kind voice will be missed. Please join us in a moment of silence in remembrance of Chris Economaki. Thank you. At this time, please welcome our nation's colors as they are presented by the Nellis Air Force Base Honor Guard. Also, for tonight's invocation, please welcome Las Vegas Motor Speedway Chaplain Kurt Schulke.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this blessed day and this blessed event and the fans that are here. And Lord, we ask for your protection of all the drivers and their crews and their families. We also raise up the track personnel, but especially the safety and traffic, or the emergency crews who do such valiant and courageous work. And Lord, our men and women in the military, both home and overseas, put your protective hands over them, Lord, as they sacrifice in the cause of freedom. We ask this in your most precious name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as Miss Juliana Urdez performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great crowd on hand. It's time for the drivers to strap into their trucks. Coming up next, the engine will be fired, the green flag will fly. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World and Good Sam. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, and roadside assistance. And by the new 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Welcome back. Drivers already strapping into their trucks, getting ready for the Smiths 350 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What are some of the topics we need to focus on tonight? Well, how about the progressive banking at this racetrack? It is a difficult track to get your hands on, but a very wide and racy track. Also, mile-and-a-half importance. Yes, we're on a mile-and-a-half, but we also have a couple more before the season is done. So two very important topics that we want to talk about. Once again, Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, and Michael Waltrip with you. Michael, let's talk a little bit about this racetrack. It is a very racy and wide racing surface.
Man, these guys ran 175 mile an hour, over 175 mile an hour average in qualifying. It's going to get cooler and darker. These trucks are going to be hauling here. And when you get down in the corner, Phil, I've raced here before. I looked at the Ford track description earlier, and it says 20 degrees of banking in the corner. There's no way.
At the wall.
Yeah, maybe up top, but down low, there's less. And so that's going to heat things up. These guys will dive into the corners, try to take the low line, but the outside cats will have more grip up there, and so it's really, really racy. And when it's a racy track, you see a lot of spins. Aerodynamics become a big part of what they're doing, and when you see spins, that can have some big point implications.
It really can, and how important the mile and a halves are for our series. 10 of our 22 races are on mile and a halves. We've already had 7 of them. James Busher has won 4 of those. But the importance of these mile and a halves the last 2 years, Todd Bodine won the championship in 2010. He had almost a full race point-wise over his closest competitor on mile and a halves. Last year, Austin Dillon won the championship. He was 13 points better than Johnny Sauter, who finished second, and he won by 6 points. That's how important the points are on these mile and a half racetracks.
Austin Dillon won on a mile and a half racetrack at Atlanta. And as we mentioned, James Busher, he's got 4 wins already this year. All 4 wins have been on mile and a half tracks. Let's get the engines fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command is the account manager for Smith's, Tate Jorgensen. Drivers, start your engines!
The trucks have roared to life, as Michael mentioned, over 170 miles an hour, the average around this mile and a half. It's going to get crazy. Stay with us. Trucks are rolling here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we're getting ready for the Smiths 350, 146 laps around this mile and a half track. 2 by 2 they will go. The starting order will come across the top of your screen. Joey Coulter grabbed another pole. He's done fairly well this year in qualifying. Wants to also get to victory lane again. Already done it 1 time. We're riding along with a few different drivers. Talk us through it, guys.
This is James Busher, guys. How competitive is our truck series? Phil, you talked about James winning 4 of the 7 races on the mile and a half tracks. He qualified 15th. Can he race his way to the front from that starting spot? We'll see. We're going to ride along in the Great Clip Chevy.
One of the guys he's going to have to pass is that 7 of Parker Kligerman. We talked earlier, 5 second-place finishes for this young man. Hasn't got to victory lane yet. It could be tonight. He will start from the 14th position in his Red Horse Racing Toyota.
Let's hop on board with Justin Lofton from the 8th spot. Guys, I love this sponsor. It's Imperial Valley full plate Chevy that he's driving. Imperial Valley is the Southern California community in which Justin lives. That community, their agriculture is their basis of their economy. And there's 80 guests of Justin and his team here that are all chipping in a little bit to sponsor this truck. If it goes well, he might have a full plate sponsor for next year as well.
That's awesome. We're also going to ride along in the 32 truck of Miguel Paludo. His best finish of the year came last week. He finished 8th, and he's moved up into the top 10 in points in 9th. He will start, Miguel Paludo will start his Duraline Toyota from inside the top 10 and 7th.
Let's hop on board with Ty Dillon, my championship pick. He's on a roll, too. Remember at Bristol, he ran out of gas, finished outside the top 20 for the only time in his career. Since then, finishes of 1, 2, 3. The team's on a roll. This kid's doing a great job behind the wheel of that RCR Brass Pro Tracker Boat Chevy. Ray.
Hey, Mikey, you know, a few years ago, I think it was 2005, they reconfigured this Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So I think all the statistics we should talk about are from that point forward. And when we look at the guys that have won at this racetrack, how about all of them have qualified in the front 2 rows? So you got to start up front to win here, right? Well, tonight I think that statistic goes out the window. And here is why. I really believe that Todd Bodine has an excellent truck tonight, and the 11 will roll off in the 10th position. And right behind him is Johnny Sauter. Both of these guys have been very, very good on mile and a half racetracks. Sauter's a former winner here, and I think the statistic of all the winners coming from the top 3 starting positions will go out the window tonight in Las Vegas. Hermie?
Well, Ray, it's always fun to watch fresh faces get opportunities here in NASCAR. Even more fun when they take advantage of it. 2 drivers to watch tonight. Grant Enfinger, a not as well-known name, but in a big-time truck tonight. He makes his 6th career start, and he does it tonight for Brett Keselowski Racing. His best career finish is 12th. He plans on making that a better performance tonight in the 29 truck. Another driver, David Mayhew. He turned some heads in years past driving for Kevin Harvick. Tonight, he's behind the wheel of the number 18 for Kyle Busch Motorsports. He is the 11th driver to compete for KBM. This is his 11th career start.
Let's see if we can talk with the 18. Thank you, Hermie.
Hey, David Mayhew, it's Mike Waltrip up in the speed booth. You got a good starting spot there. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. The Dollar General Toyota's been great all weekend. Eric and the guys have been made some good calls, and just here to learn from them. They got a great team and see what we can do at the finish here.
Well, I've watched you race all over the West Coast. Tell everybody that I know that you're just a fast driver, do a great job behind the wheel. Is it intimidating being on this big 1.5 miles, or are you feeling good about it?
No, the thing was driving really good yesterday, so these first couple laps, I just want to get single file, get some laps logged, and go at it after that. So just really looking forward to it. Can't thank those guys enough for the opportunity.
All right, brother, it's good to see you. Have a fun race. Your car owner, your truck owner there, Kyle Busch, is twittering a little bit. We'll let you know what he's got to say, man.
Thank you.
Kyle Busch has been tweeting, as a matter of fact, talking a little bit about this race. The owner of the 18 truck, he finished 2nd in Atlanta earlier this year. And he says, good luck out there, guys. I'll be watching. As David Mayhew signing autographs, some of the kids here in the garage area.
Man, it's a great crowd too, Rick.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of energy down in the Neon Garage. A lot of fans walking around, getting to talk to the truck drivers, the guys that race these things, getting to actually look at the trucks. And I just love the atmosphere tonight. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy. And this track, like we said in our opening, it's really fast, and it's going to be really competitive down in the turns.
You know, this is an exciting town. And when you couple that with a little bit of a race here just a little bit north of town, man, that's good stuff.
Now, we've got a guy like James Busher coming off a win at Kentucky. He's won 4 races on 1.5 mile tracks, but he starts back in 15th at a track where you normally have to start in the top 5 to get to victory lane. Does that count him out?
I 100% agree with Ray Dunlop. I don't care where you're starting tonight, and it's because of good trucks in the back, like James Busher, like Jason White you see on the outside. There's Parker Kligerman. He's been really fast. Nelson Piquet was right there as well in that same view. There's a lot of room to pass here, a lot of room to operate.
And it's amazing down in the garage area. I talked to a bunch of different crew chiefs. They all think they have good trucks for tonight.
Again, up front, we have the 22 of Joey Coulter grabbing the pole. Timothy Peters will start on his outside as they get ready for, or inside as they get ready for the green flag to fly. Right now they're staring into the sun. It's going to continue to go down here at Vegas, and the lights will come on here in a city known for lights. Side by side, coming to the green flag. We're underway in Las Vegas. Already, Ty Dillon looks to make it 3 wide as they go to turn number 1.
Johnny Sauter did make it 3 wide on the inside in that Sealmaster Toyota.
And that's one of those deals where David Mayhew, he didn't want to look too overzealous at the beginning of the race, so he stayed in line. What happens? Somebody puts him 3 wide. So you either go and do it, or you get it done to here in the Truck Series.
Still side by side for the lead. Timothy Peters on the bottom of the racetrack. Joey Coulter falling back just a bit as they go through 3 and 4.
Oh,
and sideways goes the 11 of Bodine. Bodine around, coming out of turn 4. Just as they were coming to the the start-finish line, the checkered line across the start-finish of this racetrack, the 11 of Todd Bodine slides sideways coming out of 4.
You know, I was watching them getting in turn number 3, and it looked like he was racing with his teammate, Parker Kligerman, and I'm not sure if there was any contact or not. It doesn't appear to have any contact to that Toyota Care Toyota, but a wild ride early for Todd Bodine, Ray.
And Phil, as he was going by me here on pit road, I noticed the left front tire was flat on that Toyota Care Tundra, so he's going to be coming to pit road immediately. Hopefully it does not come apart and shred the fenders, but left front tire is down.
Man, that team has had a lot of trouble here as of late. You could see David Mayhew up in front there sliding up the track as well. We talked about how tough these turns are when you get all the trucks in a pack. Todd just loses control of his truck, it looks like to me.
Yeah, he had Parker behind him, but there was at least 2 or 3 feet in between. No contact there from his teammate.
And you know, this is something that we've seen Todd struggle with lately. You can just see the thing start to bobble, and boom, it's around on him.
Boy, he didn't get far out of shape at all before it finally went. Looked like it just wiggled a little bit, a couple degrees, and then around it went.
We talked earlier about the bad luck that Red Horse Racing has continued to have over the past 3 weeks. And here on lap number 1, Todd Bodine goes sideways.
I wouldn't call that luck right there. That's just hard racing on the first or second lap of the race, not really knowing what your truck's got up underneath you, and the thing gets away from you. You can't blame that on luck. He's lucky. He's lucky he didn't get crashed.
Had no idea the truck was going to be that loose down there. Obviously hadn't even got up to temperatures yet. Air pressures hadn't built up yet. Got over in turn 3 and 4, just too loose.
How tough is it to negotiate around a 1.5 mile track? Well, that's a 2-time champion that just had troubles getting through turn 4. Right.
Well, they're going to put tires on this thing, Rick, and Todd also said to his crew chief, Rick Gay, go ahead and tighten it up a little bit. You see the wrench is in the back. They're going to go down 2 rounds on the track bar. That should give them a little more security through the corner. They're going to hang 4 tires. They'll put Sunoco fuel in this thing, and Todd Bodine will be away. But again, it was definitely a left front tire that was down. So not sure if that was the complete problem or just the truck was totally loose also.
Didn't get the first lap complete, but it was Timothy Peters who crossed the stripe first. He will be your race leader when we come back to Vegas. Welcome back to Smith's 350. About a lap in, we have a caution flag come out. Todd Bodine slides out of turn 4.
Well, Michael talked about when you have a challenging racetrack like this, we're going to see some spins, some cautions. I don't think you thought it was going to be in the first lap, did you?
I'm not surprised. I mean, you can watch David Mayhew up in the second row. He started in that 3rd spot. He got down to turn 3 and totally got loose and slid up the hill. Luckily didn't get into anyone. And then we saw Todd Bodine spin around as well.
You know, a great job by the rest of the field because Todd Bodine was 10th. And he goes sideways pretty much in front of the field.
Take a look. Sunshine.
Yeah, wow. That's what they have to look at when they come out of turn 4.
And then you had a bunch of smoke and a spinning truck. These guys their attention is set now. They're ready to go.
Timothy Peters, Joey Coulter back in the gas, green flag back in the air.
I think you also want to make a note, Phil, that Peters was able to take the bottom of the racetrack on the original start and get the lead. And now he's taking it again and looks like he's going to lead off turn 1. Later in the race, as these guys start to jockeying for positions late and trying to win this race, where you restart might be key.
And the thing is, a lot of these guys can run wide open, at least for a few laps, as we see David Mayhew make it 3 wide, trying to get by Matt Crafton.
Mayhew on the bottom of the racetrack, riding along with Justin Lofton in the 6th truck.
Good side-by-side battle right in front of Justin. Matt Crafton, the 88, Brendan Gaughan in the 2. Another spin.
Sideways once again, this time Travis Pastrana in the 88 goes around.
He's in the 98, but I know what you mean, Rick. Is off turn 4, just like we saw Todd Bodine struggle. You saw Travis bring it to a stop there, and all 4 tires of his tires are going to be flat. He'll have to try to get those chains right quick so that he doesn't go a lap down. See if we go just loose again.
Yeah, same position really as Todd Bodine was, and he held on to it as he got around the corner. Did a nice job keeping that thing out of the outside wall, it appears. And again, a nice job by the other guys avoiding him.
So the caution comes out once again for a spin in turn 4. Once again, they go to work on that 98. Welcome back to Smith's 350 under its 2nd caution for the 98 spinning. Hermie.
Yeah, real quick, Rick. Travis Pastrana telling crew chief Dan Stillman nothing wrong with the truck. He just lost it, got in the corner too hot. The air pressures had not come up yet. 4 flat tires is the only damage, though. You got 4 brand new Goodyears. They topped off with fuel and got him back on the racetrack.
Now that tells you how tough conditions are here. A 2-time champ spins out on the first lap, and then Travis Pastrana
making his first start.
In his first start in the truck, but also has been upside down all around, as sideways as you can be. He spins out as well.
And the front row is still the same. Timothy Peters on the inside, Joey Coulter on the outside. Timothy Peters scored your race leader, and green flag back in the air.
Man, I like the way Peters has taken off. Again, a great jump. Was able to pull ahead of Coulter, and that makes turn 1 much more friendly when you get there. You don't have someone on your outside.
In fact, he was able to clear him. He was able to move up the racetrack as they entered turn number 1 to get a good angle through the center. But David Mayhew's trying to race alongside Ty Dillon in the 3 truck. You see Matt Crafton making it 3 wide. A lot of the guys in the garage area told us we see some great racing here, that the draft is really big here.
Joey Coulter looked to the inside there, trying to maybe take the lead away from Timothy Peters, but wasn't able to make that pass. He drops back in a battle for 2nd.
And I bet these guys are hoping that sunset soon, because these trucks are out of control. There's loose trucks all over the place.
And now it's Matt Crafton charging to the front as he's racing on the inside of the 3 for 2nd.
Nice run through the center of the corner on the outside for Ty Dillon, able to clear Matt Crafton, bring a couple of his friends with him.
Joey Coulter tucks back into third. Right behind him, David Mayhew in the 18 running fourth. On the inside of the track, that 88 of Matt Crafton running in the fifth spot.
How good have we got it to watch these boys battle each other in these trucks? Man, from the time they throw the green flag on lap 1, it's wide open, and I love it. 2 and 3 wide, jockeying for position. There's Parker Kligerman making his way up through the field, the guy that's won 4 races on these mile-and-a-half tracks. James Busher just behind him. And look, they're in the middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack trying to make their way up to the front as they rocket down Nellis Speedway.
And they are making their way towards the front. They started 14th and 15th. Now they're up to 10th and 12th.
I like that straightaway on the back.
A lot of people were talking about that truck of Miguel Paludo, too, as during practice, one of the trucks that were more solid. You can see Busher's not able to do anything with them. There comes Nelson Piquet Jr. right up behind his teammate.
A lot of experience on top of that pit box for Miguel Paludo. Jeff Hensley, who won this race last year with Ron Hornaday, is Miguel Paludo's crew chief.
Turns 1 and 2 already in the shade. The sun has already gotten behind the grandstands, and as well as the track is at enough of an angle where it's not going to be in the sun anymore. But 3 and 4 still heavily in the sun.
And it's no coincidence that the spins we're down in turn 3 and 4 too. That sun makes it slicker. These trucks have to be set up really free in order to be able to run a long run competitively, and that gets you in trouble, especially in the sun of turns 3 and 4.
Speaking of competitive, we still have a great battle for second right now. Timothy Peters racing for position, but right now it's Joey Coulter on the inside and Ty Dillon on the outside, as Timothy Peters has about a 3-truck length lead over Joey Coulter, who has now moved out in front of that 3.
Yeah, I like the way that 22 truck looks, and Phil, you talked earlier about how people in the garage area talked about this truck as well. The fact that he can just mow around the bottom and clear Dillon, and now look, goes to the outside. Is he going to take the lead?
He's going to challenge Timothy Peters. Timothy's going to pull up and block that advance.
And the 3 look to the inside of that 17, and
cautions on the speedway.
Once again, the caution comes out. This time the 65 goes around into the grass. That's Chris Lafferty.
Had a problem exiting turn number 4. Not sure Chris hit anything either. We've had 3 spins and nobody's hit a thing.
You know, you talk about bad luck. That's all good luck.
That's good luck.
Let's spin and not hit anything. He was running in the 26th spot when his truck came around on him. That Chevy spun off turn 4. Chris must have kept the tires spinning, though, because unlike Pastrana, none of his tires are flat.
See, right at the exit of turn number 4, just got sideways and drove her down into the grass there. Did a nice job not hitting anything. Guys, we talk about Todd Bodine, who caused our first caution spinning. He's already moved up to the 16th position.
And this caution will be a good break for Todd. Let him regroup, gain some more track position, get a little closer to the leader, and go at it one more time.
As quickly as I was mentioning the sun beating down on turns 3 and 4, it is about gone. It has about gone behind the mountains here, just outside of Las Vegas. The caution has come out once again for the 3rd time now. This time it was Chris Lafferty coming off of turn number 4. Tomorrow, NASCAR Race Day, get you revved up for round 3 of the chase. Points leader Jimmy Johnson joins us live. Plus, Denny Hamlin tells you how the scars of 2010 are fueling his championship run. NASCAR Race Day fueled by Sunoco from Dover. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, only on Speed. How about the start Denny Hamlin is having? Got the win last week, already up to the 3rd spot, just 7 points back in that championship run.
Jimmy Johnson's won 5 of these championships. Never has he gone second in the first 2 races, so he's off to a pretty solid start. But man, that Denny Hamlin and his team, they are mentally into this game, and they are ready to do battle with Jimmy Johnson. I've never seen anyone, I felt like, more focused on trying to take down Jimmy than Denny is, and it's going to be fun to see if he can pull it off.
While we were away, the 31 of James Busher came on to pit road. These were trucks coming in on around lap 15. Let's go back to pit road and Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, the 3 trucks on my end of pit road that came in. The 23 of Jason White came in for fuel only, but took some equipment. The fuel can, he drug it out of the pit box. He had to come back into pit road again for a penalty. He's back on the racetrack. The 31, as we just saw, fuel only and a slight chassis adjustment, and also the 29 of Grant Enfinger, pit road for fuel only. Ray?
For me, down on my end, I was keeping an eye on Todd Bodine. He came back to pit road, got fuel on lap 15, but more importantly, they added a couple of sweeps to the left front shock. Todd said that his splitter was dragging the racetrack, so they've worked on that thing. And just keep in mind, a few of these guys will be on a little different fuel strategy than the front runners who have yet to come to pit road.
Top 13 stayed on the racetrack. 13th right now, Hornaday.
And that's what's so fun about these truck races. They're short. These crew chiefs put their brains to work and figure out some strategy, mix things up, and we always see, it seems, that plays in the finish.
And they wanted to save tires. I don't think anybody put tires on.
Side by side, once again 2 by 2 as they come out of turn number 4. Timothy Peters, Joey Coulter making up row number 1. Peters is your race leader on the inside. He gets back into the gas. We're back underway at Vegas.
Timothy has been amazing on these starts. He's had 3 of them. Now he's going to clear one more time, and that's just really difficult to be down on the bottom of the racetrack and beat those guys to turn 1. He's done it every time. Can Coulter pull to the outside?
I think he's got a nose up beside him. He does have position on him. Now they're 3 wide.
I told you it was hard to do that.
Ty Dillon racing to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take that spot away, but it's Joey Coulter who grabs the lead now as they go through 3 and 4. David Mayhew working to the outside of that 17 of Timothy Peters.
They know we still have 120 laps to go, right?
Well, you would think they would. You know, I was talking.
Look at that. Looks like Talladega.
I was talking to Rick Wren, who's the general manager for the 18 of Kyle Busch Motorsports that David Mayhew's driving. He said, I told David Mayhew, get this thing comfortable. He said, but make sure that you have it where you can work the outside. The outside, I think, is late in the race is going to be the place to be.
And we talked about the progressive banking and the fact that there's a little bit more bank up top and you get a little bit more grip up there. When the sun goes down, you might see some of those guys head that way. But what I love most about it, Phil, if your truck isn't working well on the bottom, you got some options. You can move around and try to get some better grip.
Got a problem for Ron Hornaday. The 9 truck looked like he started smoking as he exited turn number 4, dropped down to the apron. There he is right there. Bad deal for Ron Hornaday.
New sponsor on the side of that truck, Smoky Mountain.
Herbal Snuff.
Herbal Snuff came on board, and Ron's just wrecked last week and having trouble again here, so it's a shame for that new team. He was running in the 13th spot. Solid run so far. Not a great qualifying effort, but he had moved up, and then to have problems early is really sad for that team.
Well, the beginning of the show might not have been good luck for Ron Hornaday or Todd Bodine. As they were looking for luck, neither has found it here at Vegas early in this race.
Yeah, I think at least Todd Bodine still has a shot. I believe Ron Hornaday's situation could be terminal.
7 of Parker Kligerman working to the inside and now tucks in behind the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
There's Vegas native Brendan Gaughan. Look at that dive he makes down into turn 3. Parker Kligerman cut to the bottom of the track, but Brendan was determined to clear Cale Gale, was able to get by Gale, and almost ran into the back of Kligerman.
We know if the outside's going to work, we know Brendan's going to be up there.
Brendan always likes running up against the wall on these super speedways.
I always used to like to do that as well. It wasn't as far as to hit it when you messed up.
I know that's what Richard Petty told me one time. He was the first guy to run high all the time. He said a lot less distance to travel to hit the wall. But remember we talked about James Busher pitting on this most recent caution? He's up to 12th already.
James Busher, of the guys who came onto pit road, has moved up the best. Currently running in that 12th spot, as you mentioned. Todd Bodine following behind, running in 13th right now.
Brendan's trying to take a peek to the inside of Parker Kligerman. No room there that time. Now he's going to drive up beside of Parker as they exit turn 2.
Making that low line work. A little bobble there for Brendan Gaughan. Has to check up just a bit. Will slide back in behind that 7 of Parker Kligerman. Out in front, Joey Coulter has about a 0.6 of a second lead over Ty Dillon. Timothy Peters, David Mayhew, and Matt Crafton, your top 5.
You can tell Gaughan is just itching to get to the inside of Kligerman. He's able to hold the truck down a little bit lower off turn 4. Looked like was going to make a run on Parker, but just couldn't quite get there. Now Brendan will go to the high side. Talked about multiple grooves and guys trying to figure out where they can go to make their trucks work better. That's what Brendan Gaughan's doing right now. He's learning a heck of a lot. He tried to pinch it down low off turn 4. Didn't work. So he went to the high side in turn 1 and 2. And look, Phil, he lost more ground in turns 1 and 2 than he did in 3 and 4.
And these guys are running some fast times. That last lap Joey Coulter ran was only 0.3 of a second off his pole run from last night. And remember, qualifying didn't start till 8:30 local time last night. So it was a lot cooler and a lot later than it is right now.
About a 1 and a 1/10 the gap between 7th and 8th. Justin Lofton running 7th. Johnny Sauter is in 8th. So we're starting to see them stack up behind this 13 of Johnny Sauter, at least Parker Kligerman, the 2 of Brendan Gaughan, both of them running just behind this 13. But that big gap normally means that they're holding up the guys behind him.
And I just love the job that this kid's doing. Parker has really done an amazing job coming to a new team and just putting the thing up front. We saw him on the pole. We've seen him run up front and lead laps. Could have won a couple of races, and it's just been fun to watch his progression. And look, he's going to try to get to the inside of Sauter.
He's going to try to progress one more spot right here. He's got Norm Benning right in the middle of the racetrack. Norm's going to give both of those guys room to get by on the outside.
Side by side for position. Sauter and Kligerman racing for that 8th position, and Kligerman takes it away from Sauter.
He just drove it down hard into the corner and cleared Johnny by the time they got to the center of the corner.
Kligerman finished 2nd at Kentucky last week, and at Iowa, you know, he had one of the fastest trucks. He was 23rd there because he spun out and had a flat tire. The finishes before that, 5, 7, 4, 2, 4. He's on it right now.
You know, we talked about Todd Bodine and the march he was making up to the front, made it all the way up to 12th. Well, just a couple laps ago, this is riding along with James Busher. Whoa. And just in front, gets into the wall. So Todd Bodine slides up the racetrack and into the wall. Bad luck continues.
It's been a pretty eventful start of the race for Todd Bodine, that's for sure.
That was loose. That wasn't luck. That was loose. He just got sideways off turn 4 and ran out of room.
I was talking to Todd's crew chief, Rick Gay, earlier in the garage area, and he said this is the first truck that they bought a center section from Kyle Busch Motorsports, and they built a front snout and a rear clip, put all the sheet metal in it. Their first truck, they've actually done pretty much most of it themselves.
Right now, Joey Coulter still with a 0.6 of a second lead over Ty Dillon. Oh, hard into the wall, the 65. That is Chris Lafferty. We saw him slide out of 4 earlier, and now this time major contact with the wall.
How about Parker Kligerman driving through there completely sideways, trying to avoid Chris Lafferty?
Wow. He needs to leave that baby setting there. That's oil running out of it, or water at least, and probably oil. It'll blow the motor up if he drives it around.
Safety crew gets to him. The issues have been in turn 4. Once again, Chris Lafferty.
And that sun we were talking about is gone. Now it's pretty much gone down behind the grandstands.
And we saw Todd Bodine sideways off turn 4. So the sun has gone down, but that track's still warm down there in turns 3 and 4. These guys are struggling. See if we can see what happens. Oh, look. Catches the apron and watch this baby shoot up the hill. Phil, how many times back in the day? Oh, hard contact.
Watch Parker Kligerman go through there.
Look at that.
Sideways.
How many times back in the day do we hear Dick Beatty tell us in the NASCAR meetings, when you get down on the side on the track, turn left and lock her down. You can come back and get some more tires. That was a lesson right there Chris Lafferty could have used. Watch Kligerman. Wow, he about crashes. There just wasn't anything to gain from turning that baby that hard to the right down on the apron.
We've run long enough now. We've completed 30 laps. I think we're going to see the rest of those trucks that didn't come to pit road, that last caution flag, they're going to come in now probably as well as most of the rest of them.
You see Chris Lafferty out of the truck and looking at the damage to that 65 as the safety crew continues to work to get that truck back into the garage area.
Now, are these guys going to want some tires now? You know, Phil, when you're that loose, you put new tires on it, it's going to be loose again for a little bit. So if your truck is handling well and you just wanted to get a little splash of gas, these tires during practice seem to hold on real well.
You know, most of the time we only have 4 sets of tires for the weekend. They actually have 5 sets of tires for this race. They probably used 1 set up in practice, so they'll have an extra set of tires. I wouldn't be surprised for them to put tires on now.
Joey Coulter out in front. Ty Dillon running second. Timothy Peters, David Mayhew, and Nelson Piquet Jr. your top 5. What will the decisions be made on pit road? We'll be back in a minute to find out. 4 cautions already after 31 laps of racing.
And it's been heavy and hard racing.
Incredible racing early on at Las Vegas. Now it's Joey Coulter, Ty Dillon, Timothy Peters. Those drivers have been talking with their crew chiefs about strategy. What are we going to do here? Would we do a 2-tire stop potentially here, fill this thing back full of fuel?
I think so. I think that the way the guys talk, that the left side tires aren't wearing any. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these guys put just right side tires on this pit stop.
And that's the thing about the truck series. We talked earlier, get a little gas here and there, get 2 tires. It's always seemingly that we have people in different agendas, and it makes it so fun to watch guys like James Busher pit early and race his way back to the top 10.
Here's a racetrack where we know that track position is important because since 2006, when the racetrack was reconfigured, pretty much everybody's won from a top 3 starting position.
Yeah, they have won from a top 3 4 times from the pole. So they're definitely important, but I'm like Ray and Michael. I'm not sure you can rule out the guys like James Busher starting way back outside the top 10.
Maybe somebody gambles back there with just a 2-tire stop and is able to get out in front to get that track position.
I think you can have some of the guys up front put 2 tires on as well to keep that track position.
The spin that just took place and the end of the wall was out of turn number 4, and so right now the safety crew is still working right at the entrance to pit road. So pit road was not open this time by. They're going to take them back around one more time. But as you mentioned, we've already completed 32 laps of the 146. So this is a perfect opportunity for them to come onto pit road, make any adjustments potentially that the drivers have been talking about, but also either a 2-tire or 4-tire stop.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a mixture of both. And some of the guys that pitted early, Todd Bodine more than likely will not put another set of tires on, even though he spun out and bounced off the wall already.
What's next?
Well, a beautiful sunset for one thing. NASCAR Victory Lane coming up tomorrow after the Cup Series race from Dover. Turn to Speed for comprehensive post-race coverage on NASCAR Victory Lane right here on Speed. Welcome back. Chris Lafferty was checked and released from the Infield Care Center, and while we were away, the field came to pit road, led by that 22 of Joey Coulter.
A little bit of everything happened. 2 tires, 4 tires. I believe our leaders of the race now, Parker Kligerman got out first. James Busher right behind him. John West Townley.
I'm thinking maybe no tires on some of those trucks.
And again, that 09 truck of John West Townley has surfaced near the front of the pack. His crew's done a nice job lately of getting him that track position, and he's been doing really well at holding on to that track position when he gets it.
Top 10 last week at Kentucky. Nice job by John West and his crew.
We watched the 3 of Ty Dillon come onto pit road and change 4 tires this time by. Let's go back to pit road and Hermie Sadler.
Well, Nelson Piquet Jr. has started 13th. He's worked his way up to 5th on the racetrack. They came in, no adjustments, 2 right side tires, and Chris Carrier, the crew chief, kept talking about make sure we get it full of fuel. So they filled him up with Sunoco fuel, sitting back on the racetrack. Right?
Hermie, down at my end, the front 3 runners in this race prior to the pit stops all went with 4 tires. Ty Dillon and his number 3 truck was a little bit tight, but they don't want to free this up until the weather changes a bit. They have a feeling that this track is going to cool off a lot, so the next adjustment, they'll go freer. As we go to the 17, Timothy Peters, he went with 4 tires and just a little bit of an air pressure adjustment on the right side. Joey Coulter also a little snug like his teammate in the 3. They're going to make a bigger swing at this thing later, but on this pit stop they went up a half a round on the left rear jack bolt.
1, 2, 3, now 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's how much pit strategy plays in the Truck Series. A new race now.
Brian Silas in the 99 last time by was your race leader.
He went to pit road.
That put Parker Kligerman in front of the field with James Busher on the inside. So Kligerman will lead the field to the green flag. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway at Vegas. A great restart for Busher. They stay side by side going into turn 1.
We asked, could James Busher race from his 15th starting spot to the lead in this race? He says, I think I can.
And that's with no tires, too.
Look at this battle.
Enfinger to the inside, to the lead.
Grant Enfinger charges to the bottom of the racetrack, but here comes the 7 of Parker Kligerman racing back on the outside.
Phil, you talked about the draft, how important it is in these trucks. You're seeing evidence of that right there. A big move by Grant Enfinger to grab the lead. And now look, James Busher's going to try to grab it back.
You know, Parker Kligerman is not strange. Oh, Grant Enfinger gets really loose.
Loose and up the racetrack he goes, and he's able to catch it before it catches the wall. So we saw 31 of James Busher check up a bit too, seeing that 29 slide up the track.
How about John West making it 3 wide? I'm telling you, the crew chiefs talked about how important the draft was, and man, are we seeing it now.
What about Grant Enfinger? Life was good going into turn 3, had the lead. Goes into turn 1, about crashes. Watch how loose this baby gets on him. He's just really fortunate. Sideways right there. When he corrects it, there wasn't anyone on the outside of him, so he was able not to crash. But as soon as you slip here, with all the draft that we talked about, it looks like Talladega, like I said earlier. As soon as you slip, 4, 5, 6, 8 trucks are going to go by you.
Parker Kligerman out in front. Cale Gale has moved up to the 2nd spot. John West Townley, Nelson Piquet Jr., and James Busher top 5.
And what I'm seeing is the guys that changed 4 tires are not just driving by everybody, making it easy. Now, they may work their way, as we watch Ty Dillon now in that race with Grant Enfinger and Miguel Paludo. He may emerge and get by these guys, but they're not just driving there like it's nothing to it.
No, and we heard the crews talking down in the garage area how the left side tires don't wear, so you know that's going to give you a chance to make some of those kind of decisions. But how would you like to be racing for a championship, Phil, like Ty Dillon is, like James Busher is, and have to deal with all this traffic and all these decisions every lap these cats have to make in order not to crash? I mean, this is crazy racing.
That truck for Grant Enfinger continues to be loose that time.
Look at David Mayhew. He's peeking to the bottom of Timothy Peters. I also saw Mayhew slipping and sliding early in the race. His truck's not sticking exactly like he hopes it does. I bet you a bunch of these guys will be glad when it cools down, and then they just hope that means a tighter truck.
How about the turns of fortune for Grant Enfinger? Was out in front looking dominant. He pulled out in front, was able to clear Parker Kligerman in the 7 for the lead. Gets a little bit loose. Next thing you know, he's back there fighting for 10th position right now.
As we see him racing side by side with Mayhew, what I started to say was Parker Kligerman is used to racing with Grant Enfinger. They had a lot of good battles in the ARCA series, and about that time Grant got loose and Parker hasn't seen him since.
They race on the dirt in the ARCA series, and it looked like they were racing on dirt here as sideways as they've been. Look at David Mayhew just trying his best to clear Enfinger, but nothing's happening.
Enfinger. This is the bobble by the 9. Once again, as he was trying to hang on to that, Ty Dillon goes to the high side, able to clear it.
You know, Phil, as a former driver, you go down to the corner, the thing gets sideways on you. You go to the next corner, it's kind of hard to drive it back down in there. And I think that was evident there by what what Grant Enfinger did when he got to 3 and 4. He drove down in there, it wiggled a little bit. He said, y'all can have this. I don't want any of this.
And he's smart enough to know that probably it's not going to fix itself. They need to get back in, make another adjustment on that truck. Great run early on here for Cale Gale in that 33 Ream Chevrolet for Eddie Sharp, up to 2nd right now.
Has the 2nd spot. Nelson Piquet Jr. tucks in behind him in 3rd. Joey Coulter's dropped back to 4th. John West Townley is 5th.
You know, I was talking to Jerry Baxter and Ray and the boys. I just love that team atmosphere. They really believe in Cale Gale. They think they can win races in the Truck Series, and it shows with the way they've just constantly gotten better. They're really confident in their driver. Jerry Baxter is an experienced winning crew chief in the Nationwide Series. I think this team is going to do something these last 6 races.
Herbie, what are you hearing out of the 31 team?
Well, they got 2 drivers, Rick, to give an update. The 31, James Busher, currently 6th position. He got no tires on that pit stop, just trying to get some track position. Also, the 09, John West Townley, currently running 5th. They got no tires as well, but that was dictated by a slow pit stop on the previous stop. Lost all their track position, and they did fuel only to try to get some of that back, Rick.
That's a great illustration. We have James Busher, no tires, racing with a 3 truck, and they got 4 tires.
And right now, that 3 looking to the inside of James Busher, trying to take that spot away. Those 2 racing for the 6th spot as the battle for 2nd continues. Nelson Piquet Jr. looking to the inside of Cale Gale for that position.
Looks like Nelson Piquet Jr. has it. Remember, he's already been to victory lane this year on the 2-mile track at Michigan.
He's won in the K&N East Series as well.
One at Bristol, one in the Nationwide Series on the road course.
He's having a pretty solid year.
Yes, he is.
Whatever he gets in, he seems to be able to get to victory lane. But I know this Truck Series is important to Nelson. Talking to him the other day, and he said, we just want to prove that week in and week out, we can run for a championship. Haven't really been able to do that on a consistent basis this year. Would love to finish the season strong, and certainly tonight he's off to a good start for that.
There's the 29 of Grant Enfinger, holds down the 10th spot. Matt Crafton, the 88 Menards Toyota, going after him.
That's my fantasy pick. I like Matt on these big tracks. He's got a strong truck. He's going to move past Enfinger, it looks like. That'll move him up to the 9th spot. And Phil, the last 4 times out, Matt Crafton has finished 9th. He wants to get unhooked on that 9th.
I don't want to jinx it or anything, but we've gone 13 laps since the caution has flown here. This is a long green flag run for him.
You had to say it, didn't you?
Parker Kligerman back out in front. Can he finish the deal tonight in Vegas? 5 times before he's finished second in the Camping World Trucks. 51 laps complete, and this is not expected. The 17 of Timothy Peters on pit road. He was just on pit road on lap 33. What's going on, Ray?
I just came on the radio and said, real bad vibration, feel like I've got a tire going down. So they're going to put right side tires on for sure. They've got gasoline in it. It'll be a 4-tire stop. That way they don't have to guess that it's right side only. 4 tires going on Peters' truck, and that was at lap 52.
Tough break for Timothy Peters, but if the caution were to come out and, you know, he got a chance of getting a lucky dog. There's a long way to go in this race.
Let's see if he has a little bit of trouble getting to pit road. Down on the white line as low as he can get. Oh, that's just the splitter there, the front of the nose dragging on the apron of the racetrack. So that didn't hurt anything, but a shaky tire here at these type of speeds. We talked about average speeds over 175 miles an hour. Heck, you want to make sure you don't chance it. And look at this. You talked earlier about whether 2 tires or 4 tires were the deal. Ty Dillon just truck after truck, picking them off and making his way to the front. He's up to the 3rd spot.
Ty Dillon, your points leader. Timothy Peters coming into this race 3rd in the points standings, but he has continued to fall back. Well, now he lost a lap, because if you are going to come onto pit road under green flag conditions, you're going to lose a lap here.
And he's lost 51 points over the last 3 races to our point leader, Ty Dillon. 51 points. Right now he came into this race 3rd in points. That's the lowest position he's had the entire year in the points.
Ty Dillon's moved up to the 4th spot. Cale Gale just behind him. It's Parker Kligerman, Nelson Piquet Jr. 1 and 2. Here's a good battle for position. Infinger on the outside of Justin Lofton.
Another situation where these guys raced together in the ARCA Racing Series. Justin was our 2009 champion in the series.
Infinger again had his hands full once the green flag dropped earlier. Was able to get out front, ran 1 lap where he was in front of the field, but then dropped back. Looked like a loose truck, hard to handle, and now he's fallen all the way back to the 12th spot.
Another truck we talked about being loose early in the going, and that's David Mayhew. He's driven up on the back of these 2 that were battling side by side. Mayhew looks like anytime he gets on the inside of another truck, he's not very good either. So the weather's changing, the track temperatures are cooling down, and these crew chiefs are going to have to start making some pretty serious adjustments if they want to get trucks that can get up there and run with Parker Kligerman and Nelson Piquet. Those 2 have taken this long green flag run, for us a long green flag run, and taken advantage of it.
1 lap down. Timothy Peters running in the 21st position, right?
They came to pit road because he said he was sure they had a flat, but guess what, guys? I checked all the tire pressures, not a flat tire over here, and they just relayed that information to Timothy on the radio, and he said, guys, I am so loose, I'm dead sideways, there's no way I can drive it this way. His crew chief Butch Hilton said we may have some kind of a failure going on because our tire pressures are all fine. And one other thing, guys, I did want to update. Ron Hornaday is out of the race for sure. That's a broken engine on truck number 9, the 2nd one of the weekend.
Here comes Hungry Eyes. He's driving up to the 6th spot.
Going by John West Townley to take that position away.
Yeah, John West has done a nice job staying up in the top 6, 7.
It did fun seeing the progress this kid has made. You know, he caught a lot of heat early on for having some crashes, and lately he's been able to get his crew chief's done a nice job of getting him track position. Heck, he's running around the guys in the front of the pack, and he's learned so much, and he's just doing a nice job of keeping his nose clean and logging laps. That's what it's all about when you're young and you come into this deal and it doesn't go well. You just need to step back a step and say, I need to finish some races. But what I love about him, they put him up front and he hangs on and does a nice job.
Been running very solidly the past few weeks.
Plus that Zaxby's got some good chicken.
They do. That does help. Kligerman out in front of Piquet Jr., Joey Coulter, Ty Dillon, and Cale Gale, your top 5. Then it's Crafton, as we mentioned, Townley running in the 7th spot. Paluto is 8th. Johnny Sauter and Grant Infinger, your top 10. Busher just outside that top 10 in 11th. Lofton, Mayhew, Bodine, Gaughan, and Newberry all on the lead lap, as is Jason White. Ryan Reed and Brian Silas, and Travis Pastrana about to go a lap down, but still on the lead lap.
I'm telling you, 31 of Buscher is going the wrong direction. He is going backwards. Grant Enfinger, the 29, just got by him. Now Justin Lofton is trying to go after him to gain another spot.
Yeah, that's Mr. Mile and a Half. We've had 7 mile-and-a-half track races in 2012. He's won over half. He's won 4 of them, and we thought for sure he would march from that 15th starting spot to the front, but he did feel his crew did a good job on pit road, got him that track position just like Parker Kligerman's crew did. Kligerman's led the race since then, and Buscher's been falling straight back. Could have huge championship implications. Like you talked about earlier, these mile-and-a-halves play a huge role in who's the champion, and tonight, James isn't running like a champion.
Timothy Peters also in that championship hunt, but he is now a lap down, running in the 21st position and not in position to get the Aaron's lucky dog, because Travis Pastrana just went a lap down. He would be the recipient if a caution comes out.
You know, it's just so demoralizing as a driver. You're out there running and you're just sure you've got a flat tire. You're so loose. You come in, you pit, you leave pit road. You're like, which one was it, guys?
Was it a left rear or right rear?
It wasn't a flat tire, bud. That just says, oh man, this thing's going to drive just like it did before I pitted. We've got some serious problems here tonight. And lately, it's just been problem after problem for that 17 truck.
Now to 31, trying to stay in front of that 18 of David Mayhew.
Yeah, right now, James Buscher's struggling. He's lost 2 or 3 spots here in the last few laps. He's losing another one right now to David Mayhew, and Ty Bodine will grab another spot from him here momentarily.
He's all the way back to the 13th spot. That's Bodine all over him for that position. Just 18 trucks on the lead lap, so he's getting in danger of going a lap down.
Hermie, what's happening with him?
Loose, loose, loose. He's been talking about being loose all the way around the racetrack. Crew Chief Mike Shelton said, hey, a lot of drivers are complaining about being loose. Yours is just worse than most. They've asked him to hang on to it till they get back to pit road.
I love that Michael Shelton's trying to pump him up a little bit, say, hey, a lot of people are talking about loose, and right now that's not much consolation to James Buscher.
But you know, let's just make a note right here and say this is how you race for a championship. We've seen Ty Dillon and that team, his truck not be handling well early in the going. They've adjusted and worked on it. He's rallied and got a good finish out of it. If you're going to win a championship like that Richard Childress Racing team is used to winning with their young driver Ty Dillon, then James Buscher and his team are going to have to make the most out of tonight. Sure, they're loose. They got to get to pit road and fix it.
Remember one time they changed a carburetor and got to victory lane in a mile-and-a-half.
Parker Kligerman out in front by over 2 seconds. We're going on 33 laps of green flag racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome back. Parker Kligerman still out in front, just under 2 seconds the gap now, and he makes the hard left turn onto pit road. Looks like this might be a little early for him to be on pit road. Hermie.
Well, Rick, he's going so fast, he's burning a lot of fuel on the racetrack consistently. The fastest truck on the track out front with that clean air. Chad Kendrick brings the crew over the wall. It'll be 4 tires for Kligerman, Sunoco fuel, and no adjustments for the 7 truck.
You know, guys, he pitted on lap number 33. We hadn't gone 40 laps yet. We know these guys can go, you know, anywhere from 53 to 57.
It makes me wonder if they got it full on lap 33 because they were really fast getting that track position and got them up front, drove away from the field, but had to come in early.
They may have only plugged 1 can in on that first pit stop, and that wasn't enough to fill it up with fuel.
We questioned a little bit this team's strategy when we were in Iowa with their pitting, and it wound up biting them there.
And not pitting was the other issue that they didn't come to pit road when they probably should have.
The strategy wasn't right there. This time it looked like, oh, can we cut him off? Okay. Justin said, I'm going to pull up in front of you, Miguel. Please give me room. And you know, that's a decision a driver has to make pretty much every lap in a race. If you're going to pass somebody, you have 2 choices. You can either clear them or
Too fast entering pit road under green. Gonna have to serve a penalty right here.
And that might do it once again for Parker Kligerman. Looked like he had one of the dominant trucks at the racetrack, and now having to serve a penalty on pit road, he'll go 2 laps down.
Yeah, he was able to run the fastest laps of anybody on the racetrack without changing tires on that pit stop on lap 33.
So a long trip down pit road for the 7. But Parker Kligerman out in front now. It's that 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. He has a 1.4 second lead over Joey Coulter.
I was up on top of the hauler watching practice earlier with a 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr.'s crew chief. This is Parker coming in the first time.
You see, he was skidding his tires, and you'll see a lot of the guys on Sunday during the Cup races. They'll come into that first pit box too hot, sliding their tires, but they keep slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. You just have to have your average speed during that section not be more than the NASCAR mandated rule. And so it's an average. So you try to get her stopped, and then you speed back up. Parker slid through there. Didn't look like he took it all the way down. Obviously too fast.
And the speed line is yellow line to yellow line. What I started to say, oh, caution flag is on the racetrack.
That's the worst thing that Parker Kligerman could have seen. Now he's a couple of laps down. He's not.
He can probably do a wave around,
get one
of them back, and then be in position later on to get a lucky dog or another wave around or something.
It's cool seeing Nelson Piquet Jr. Just talking to him, and he said, I just got to run up front more consistently. Heck, he's doing it tonight.
When I was on the top of the truck, he was making a practice run. When he started to come in off the racetrack, Chris Carrier's crew chief said, remember now, practice getting to pit road.
Very important lesson.
Extremely important.
But Nelson Piquet Jr. was learning during practice, and Parker Kligerman got hit for it on his pit stop.
You know, I love Parker's enthusiasm of getting to pit road. You know, rookies give up too much time sometimes trying to make a green flag pit stop. There's your Aaron's lucky dog. We saw Brian Salas lead a lap earlier in the race, and now he's able to get a lap back from Aaron's because of the lucky dog. But Kligerman gave it all. He just didn't react properly when he came across that line too fast. It wouldn't matter if he was running 55, Rick, when he went across the first yellow line. He just needed to slow down to 35 so that the average in that segment would only be 45.
And they really give you 5 miles an hour, so they will give you up to 50 miles an hour. 50.1, you're busted.
Right. And 45 is, or 50, 45 is the rule. They give you 50, so these teams treat it as 50 is the rule.
50 is the rule to them.
We talked about the pit window being anywhere from 53 to 57 laps. We haven't gone that far since the last time they were on pit road, but they've gone definitely over a fuel run, at least half a fuel run. So they're making their way onto pit road, all following the 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. Hermie.
Yeah, the 30 truck on pit road. Remember, he got 2 tires last time on pit road. This time it will be a 4-tire adjustment. Chris Carrier had originally talked about a wedge adjustment, but so far, well, there we see it right there. A little bit of a wedge adjustment, a little bit tight for the 30 truck. Ray?
You see the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet is in the bottom of your screen. He is in the middle of the pit road. They're going with 4 tires. He said he'd like it to be just a little bit freer later in the run. In the middle of the screen in pit stall number 1, there's Joey Coulter. They're going to go a half down on the left rear, which is just wiping out the adjustment they made earlier. Coulter's going to follow the 3 off pit road. The 30 will be out third.
Nice pit work by the RCR guys again, getting their 2 trucks in first, get out first and second.
Ty Dillon will now have that clean air, be on the front row with his teammate.
Remember, guys, we've completed 77 laps. We're past halfway. 146 laps make up the distance here.
So the 5th caution has come out. They've run 17 caution laps here at Las Vegas. We've completed 77 of the 146. Only 69 laps to go. Who will get to victory lane? Stay with us. Hey, race fans, Chase is heating up, and we have exclusive ticket deals to get you close to the action. Kansas Speedway has an amazing deal, so don't miss your chance to save big. Visit speed.com/deals to purchase your ticket now. Let's get an update from pit road and Hermie Sadler.
Well, Rick, we might have a little bit of insight as to why Parker Kligerman was to pit road a little bit early. Look at the right front tire that came off of this 7 truck right here. Nothing was rubbing this truck on the racetrack, but that's simply a wear issue. Remember, last time he came to pit road, the time before last, fuel only. So these tires have been on this truck for quite a few laps, almost 80 laps, they're telling me, between what they ran some in practice and what it was on tonight. So they were very lucky, actually, in everything that's happened to get to pit road before that tire failed the 7 truck.
Yeah, that tire was about to blow out.
Yeah, the only bad break is the fact that he sped coming on the pit road. He would have been 1 lap down, got the wave around then, and he would be back on the lead lap. He did take the wave around.
But he's still a lap down.
But he's still a lap down because he was 2 laps down because of the penalty.
And you know, Timothy Peters is another truck that's a lap down. Travis Pastrana and Kligerman. So it's going to be a battle for that lucky dog. It's not going to be easy to grab it away from Timothy Peters.
Ty Dillon, Joey Coulter side by side for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Great restart for Coulter on the inside. Gets to the inside of Ty Dillon and battling for the lead as they go to one.
Well, Nelson Piquet Jr. is trying to help Coulter. How about Crafton going high, trying to make it 3 wide?
Great restart for Matt Crafton, right up against the wall as he comes out of 2.
Wow, he's going to shoot all the way up to the second spot. What a move by Crafton on the high side.
Was Ty Dillon not leading this race when they restarted?
He was.
Well, he's going to be running 6th or 7th when he gets off turn 4.
That's how quickly things change. Ty Dillon, as you mentioned, back in the 6th spot now as they cross the stripe. Coulter out front, Crafton 2nd. Piquet Jr. 3rd. Cale Gale and Justin Lofton your top 5.
That's what I love about the Truck Series. That's teammates on the front row. They didn't act like teammates, did they? They drove down into turn 1, battling for the lead. Coulter came from the 2nd spot to lead it. And look at Matt Crafton, all the way up from 6th to 2nd. And did it all the way up against the outside wall off turn 2. What a great move by Crafton. Told you those eyes were hungry.
That might be the new line. The fast line around this racetrack might be going to the high side now.
We've seen that before, though, especially at this racetrack because of the banking. Get a little bit more grip up there. John West got a little bit loose inside of Mayhew.
Mayhew doesn't
caught it.
Know how lucky he was right there because he couldn't see what was happening to Townley, but John West slid up the track. David cleared, unfortunately. Ty Bodine's down on the bottom of the racetrack now trying to get around Ty Dillon. Ty's fading.
There goes Todd Bodine, and we saw Todd Bodine bring out the first caution on lap 1 when he spun coming out of turn 4.
Looked like that 3 truck was really tight down in turn 3 and 4. For some reason, he couldn't get off the turn, so maybe the adjustments they made to it aren't working for him. He's certainly fading.
Johnny Sauter, the 13 truck's trying to make his way by. Remember how good Johnny Sauter was here a few years ago, dominating this race, dominated practice, won this thing from the pole.
Which quite a few drivers have done since 2006 in the reconfiguring of this track.
4 of the 6 have been won from the pole.
Miguel Paludo behind that 3 of Ty Dillon, and just behind him David Mayhew in the 18.
And there you see James Busher. We talked earlier about this team needing to get to pit road, make some adjustments, make sure that James is able to rebound and race these guys. He's racing for a championship. It's all about managing your losses, and looks like the team has improved his truck. He's right behind David Mayhew, and you can see just up ahead his main adversary in the championship battle, Ty Dillon, up ahead. And wow, David Mayhew, we talked early about his truck being loose since we started this race, and he is that loose.
Looks like it's still there.
That allowed Busher to pull up beside him. Now Parker Kligerman's going to try to drive up to the outside with him. Ty Bodine now has made his way by the 33 of Cale Gale to move up to 5th.
And how about Kligerman, as you mentioned, just behind the 18 of Mayhew.
Still 1 lap down, in position now for the Aaron's Lucky Dog if the caution flag were to come out.
And that's Busher. He surfaced in the top 10. He's just a spot, 2 spots behind Ty Dillon. So the team has done a good job of getting that truck better for James.
Out in front, Joey Coulter has almost a 2nd lead over Matt Crafton. Had a great restart, was able to take over that 2nd spot. Piquet Jr. 3rd, Justin Lofton 4th, and Todd Bodine your top 5. Bodine top 5.
That's amazing, amazing. We still have 60 laps to go. That means these crew chiefs will have one more opportunity probably to adjust on these trucks, but they better get it right that time.
And look at this battle for the Aaron's Lucky Dog. That's Timothy Peters. He's driven to the back of Parker Kligerman. So as bad as Matt Crafton wants to grab the lead away from Joey Coulter, Timothy Peters wants to pass Parker Kligerman worse. That'll get him right back into the thick of things.
And remember, those 2 guys are in that battle for the point championship.
There's Travis Pastrana. He's recovered from that earlier spin. On just lap 2 or 3, he got sideways and spun his truck around, lost the lap. But now he's been able to make his way past Jason White. Looks like he's got a good feel for that truck now, Phil.
Yeah, he does.
And Pastrana just 1 lap down in his first ever Camping World Truck Series start. Ryan Reed back there in the 5, but it's Joey Coulter with a 1.6 second lead now over Matt Crafton. So trying to stretch out that lead, a dominant truck. He won practice yesterday and now up front. Since the drop of the green flag, it has been side-by-side, door-to-door racing, and actually early on, you guys got sideways and into the wall. But it's Joey Coulter starting from the pole, trying to become the 5th different driver in the last 7 races to win from the pole at Vegas.
Remember, I said 5 of his last 6 starts on mile and a half, all top 10 finishes. My fantasy pick looking pretty good so far.
Joey Coulter out front of Nelson Piquet Jr., Justin Lofton, Matt Crafton, and Todd Bodine, your top 5.
I got some news for you in your fantasy pick. Nelson Piquet Jr. is on it.
He's coming.
He's coming your way.
Currently 2 seconds back from race leader Joey Coulter.
He's moved up to the high side. Extremely fast lap that time. He was 0.3 of a second faster than any other truck in the field.
I mean, he put like a half a straightaway on Matt Crafton in just 2 laps.
About 17 laps since our last caution, and trucks on pit road. Let's get through the field. We'll start with Ray.
Well, Rick, let's start with the leader, because Joey Coulter not only has number 22 on the side of his truck, it's also the number of this chassis from Richard Childress Racing, and it is the very same truck that they used to win with at Pocono. And Coulter said this thing cuts through the corner the best it has ever been. So pretty happy at the front. How about Piquet? Let's go to Hermie and check him out.
Well, Ray, Nelson Piquet is as happy as he's been all night with this number 30 truck. Crew Chief Chris Carrier made 4 tires on the last pit stop. A little bit of wedge adjustment to free that truck up a little bit. Not quite good enough to catch the 22, but better than he's been all night long. Ray?
Hermie, I've been watching Justin Lofton. He has just moved up to 3rd position. Most of the guys on my end of pit road have been making adjustments as they put 4 tires on their truck. For Justin Lofton, no adjustments so far tonight. He said his truck has been really good coming off the corner, just a little bit snug on the way in. Todd Bodine, as we documented, spun right at the very beginning of this race, but they're hanging right in there in that number 11. This is chassis number 5. It's a brand new truck for Todd Bodine. I asked him earlier if it was good enough to win. He said, I'm not sure of it, but my crew chief Rick Gay says for sure we are. Hermie?
Ray, Matt Crafton's having a pretty solid night right now, and they're riding into 5th position. Been fighting a tight condition on this 88 truck, especially in traffic. They're coming back to pit road for one more stop. They're hoping to free that truck up, get him better through the center, is where he really thinks he's losing a lot of speed. So the 88 will be back to pit road shortly. The 13 of Johnny Sauter, his teammate, has the opposite problem. He's been free, especially on entry. He has not been happy with the balance of his truck all night long, fighting track position as well as a free truck. They'll get back to pit road again, talking about a track bar adjustment when the 13 comes back to pit road. Ray?
Hermie, when we went back to green, the number 3 truck of Ty Dillon was at the front of the field. Now it's back in 7th. The problem is his truck is just way too tight. They've told him to turn that right rear blower off, and it's starting to make it a little bit better as now you see him going by the number 13. He'll take over the 6th spot. As we drop back behind Johnny Sauter, you'll see the next truck in action is the number 33 Ream Chevrolet of Cale Gale. He's got a big problem tonight. He's really good in turns 1 and 2, but very loose in 3 and 4. And that's awfully hard to make an adjustment when you're only trying to fix half of the racetrack. Hermie?
Well, Ray, very surprising that the 31 of James Busher is struggling this bad on a 1.5 mile racetrack. We are accustomed to him running up front and contending for wins, but he is wicked loose is what he's telling his crew chief, Mike Shelton. Obviously, not what they need right now, but they do have another pit stop to try to tighten this truck up to get James what he needs to try to be more competitive, get back up for at least a top 5 finish, save some points. Now, his teammate, Miguel Paludo, pretty solid night for this bunch. I just talked to crew chief Jeff Hensley. Their truck changes from loose to tight depending on where they are on the racetrack. They got 2 tires earlier, got track position, they were a little bit free. They got 4 tires last time, got back in traffic, now the truck is too tight. They're talking about maybe 2 tires on their last stop for the 32. Rick?
Thanks, Hermie. Nice job. Caution coming out just as you guys wrapped up that run through, and it's Brendan Newberry in the 14 that slams into the wall.
Newberry was on the lead lap, running inside the top 15, having a really solid run, but man.
Another truck having problems off of turn 3 and 4 down this end of the racetrack.
That thing squished pretty significantly there on the
There's our lucky dog right there.
And how about this? 17 running pretty strong is going to get a lap back and be back on the lead lap.
And look at that truck right behind him. Oh, those two were really battling for that Aaron's lucky dog. Saw Parker Kligerman all the way sideways off turn 4 trying to pass.
Take a look top of our screen there. Side-by-side action. Brendan Newberry was on the inside of a truck. Lost a little bit of air. That was Grant Enfinger. He was on the inside. Lost a little bit of air off the rear spoiler, and around he went.
That was another situation from that lesson from Dick Beatty would have helped that young man if he had had that baby cranked to the left right there. Maybe he could have kept it out of the outside wall, but he was in a bind. We saw that's exactly how Kligerman got sideways underneath Peters. Once those things get out that far, it's just almost impossible to hang on to. A lot of damage to the Newberry truck.
And a pretty good run for Brendan Newberry. He was in the top 15, running 14th at the time on the lead lap.
Helping him rotate the center.
You can hear
kind of a push loose off.
Kligerman talk. Check out the battle I talked about for the Aaron's Lucky Dog. Look at this 7 truck.
Ooh, sideways
crashes
right in front of Miguel Paludo. Miguel Paludo's in the top 10. Both those trucks have been able to get by Paludo. Again, both of them a lap down. Not for long, though, for Timothy Peters.
Timothy Peters will get back on the lead lap.
And we talked about how loose his truck has been. Obviously, the team's done a nice job of tightening them up. The leaders coming to pit, some of the leaders to pit road.
Hermie, what's happening with that 30 team?
He's going to get 2 tires, Rick, try to get track position. No adjustments, and only 1 can of fuel to make it to the end for the 30. Ray?
I'm not sure what Justin Lofton's doing yet, but I know the 11 is going with 2 tires only. Todd Bodine also going to try that track position game. Now, we'll watch that number 6 as he comes in the middle of your screen. It looks like, yes, it's a 2-tire. They'll clean the grill off on that full-plate race truck. And at the very front of the field, we've got the 22 in. Joey Coulter in pit stall 1. They're going to put 4 tires on. They believe that's the only way they can win it. Coulter will come in as the leader. He's going to lose a lot of track position going out in 7th, but he's got 4 tires, and they think that's the right strategy.
Ray, coming off of pit road, it looked as though the 18 of Mayhew got into the 3 of Ty Dillon. A little bit of contact here as these guys are jockeying for position. Sure enough, there's contact made.
Well, that was more damage to Mayhew's truck, I'm afraid, Phil. He was trying to dodge Todd Bodine, goes out to the right, and that right front fender is so sensitive on this truck. You need it for that front downforce. Mayhew hit the side of Dillon. I don't know that there was any damage to the Dillon truck. Where does he hit him at? In the left front wheel.
Yeah, a little bit behind the very front of that fender.
Could be an issue.
Yeah, contact on pit road. We'll keep our eye on it. Take a look, the 3, we talked about it. Contact made by the 18 of David Mayhew. It actually cut down that left front tire. He had a flat left tire. They had to come onto pit road.
Yeah, we talked about the contact being into the left side. You wouldn't think a lot of sheet metal damage where he hit, but he just happened to catch that left front tire and cut it down. Dillon had to come to pit road. 17 trucks on the lead lap. He's going to be at the end of it. You can see Mayhew just was going around Todd Bodine. Todd pulls out. David had to make a move, and Ty was there.
David had already committed. He was already at speed, on pit road speed, when Todd pulled out of his pit.
That's life on pit road right there. Things
that's
are tight.
That's hard to blame anyone there because no one knew that the 11 was going to come out, push the 18 out into the 3. Right.
Well, guys, just listening into the call here, they weren't quite sure if they were even going to pit, but they finally realized that left front was definitely down. Ty came on the radio saying how many trucks are on the lead lap. They figured out that's still about 17. So he's really, really disappointed, obviously, but they knew they had to pit, so they put left sides on there. This is at lap 105. Does he have enough time to get by those 17 that are on the lead lap?
I just would be concerned about my toe also. You hit that left front tire, maybe it knocked that toe off. We'll see if that truck's damaged or if he can rally.
40 laps to go on the inside. Bodine, Mayhew. Mayhew on the outside. Green flag back in the air.
Look at BK jump to the inside to make it through wide. Go for the lead.
But look at the big push that Miguel Paludo gives David Mayhew. Mayhew's able to hold tight on that outside.
Here comes PK Jr. on the inside. The 30 on the inside, trying to take the lead away from David Mayhew on the outside.
Here comes Joey Coulter with those 4 tires. Going to try to drive up to 30, side by side with Bodine.
Todd Bodine right on the outside of that 22 of Coulter. Coulter has to check up a little bit, not as much racetrack, and that allows the 11 to shoot by.
Yeah, that gave took a lot of momentum away from Coulter the way Todd hugged on that right side. Joey did a good job of not spinning out, but you can see lost all of his momentum.
Coulter falling back, now trying to hold on to a 6th position.
I know Harold Holly said, hey, we have over 40 laps to go when they made that pit stop. That's why they went with 4 tires. They had the fastest truck when that caution came out, but we saw Parker Kligerman do awfully good on no tires earlier on.
So Nelson Piquet Jr. has the lead. David Mayhew drops back to 2nd. Todd Bodine, Miguel Paludo, Matt Craft in your top 5.
And you can see Coulter still trying to rebound from Todd Bodine, side drafting him so tight down in the corner. You can see Bodine maybe getting a little bit of a run up underneath Mayhew off too. David's able to hold on. Looks like the right front of that truck's bent on Mayhew from the contact on pit road. We saw it dragging in the corner, but as those tire pressures comes up, you can see just a little bit of sparks there. As the pressures come up, that should go away. Maybe not hinder him too bad. That's the best this truck has been all night long. He's up in the second spot. He's able to maintain right now.
How about the run for Paluto, the 32 truck, back and forth? Nice job so far for him.
Heck, all those guys in the top 5. Paluto, we've watched Crafton all night long be solid. David Mayhew sideways a lot of the race. Heck, Todd Bodine backwards early in the going. All of them trying to chase down PK.
17 trucks on the lead lap. All 17 came onto pit road at either 103 or just a little bit later, 105, the latest for Ty Dillon, meaning they can all make it if we stay green. No fuel issues for the top 17 all on the lead lap.
Great side-by-side battle for fourth. Looks like Crafton's going to get by Paluto. Todd Bodine, in the meanwhile, has gotten by the 18 of Mayhew and chasing down the 30 of PK.
And here comes the 88 right on the back bumper of that 18 of Mayhew. Maybe that right side damage to that 18 causing a little more trouble for David Mayhew.
Well, he hasn't been very good all night long, but being able to hang on to a top 5 spot right now would be great. The truck behind him, Miguel Paluto, isn't as solid as the Matt Crafton truck, so maybe he can settle in there and rebound. Here, speaking of rebounding, this is Ty Dillon trying to make his way back up through the field, racing alongside Ryan Reed. Ryan's doing a great job in this Truck Series debut.
1 lap down right now in the top 20 and 20th.
I like what he's doing. He's been able to keep his nose clean, running competitively.
Right now running with the 99 of Ryan Silas, who is still on the lead lap. He's currently running in the 17th spot.
Oh, it's going to be
pretty
tough.
Close.
Well, we talked about maybe that David Mayhew could hold his own against Paluto, but he isn't able to do so.
Paluto looking to the inside, trying to take that spot away.
It's a battle for the 4th spot. Matt Crafton's been able to get by David Mayhew to take over the 3rd spot.
Look at that draft you talked about earlier, Phil. Just a little bit of a push from Joey Coulter, and David Mayhew was able to squirt ahead down the back straightaway. That's a good feeling when one of your buddies pulls up behind you and pushes you ahead. And look at the big gain Mayhew was able to make.
Paluto on the inside, Coulter on the outside. Again, Joey Coulter, after starting on the pole, looked very strong. When he's out in clean air, he's pretty good. But when he got Todd Bodine on his outside, and that took away that air from the spoiler, he dropped back numerous positions and now trying to battle back into the top 5.
I worried about the extra time and losing the track position by changing 4 tires.
Way up the racetrack, goes to 32, catches the 6, and around goes Justin Lofton, hits the 13 of Johnny Sauter. They crash right at the start-finish line, and they catch the 32 of Miguel Paluto.
Wow. That was a huge crash.
And that was a long time in developing, too. The 6 of Justin Lofton got sideways way early at the exit of 4. Just about saved that thing.
I think someone clipped the 6 of Justin Lofton. I saw some contact there, and he held on to it forever. And when it finally went away on him, Johnny Sauter just had nowhere to go. Sums up the year for Sauter so far. Just anything that could go wrong has. And look at the damage on those trucks. There's debris strewn all the way down the front straightaway. You could watch here as Miguel Paluto gets a little bit loose right there. Had a slow truck of Norm Benning ahead. Norm didn't do anything wrong. Miguel just got loose and wow, right into the side, almost flipped him over.
Yep. Yeah, Johnny was as far down on the bottom of the racetrack on the apron as he could be. Just nowhere to go when Justin Lofton got down there.
So numerous trucks involved in this. The 6th caution here tonight.
You can see there's concerns ahead. You see the slower red truck up ahead. So Paluto's going to try to squeeze up a little bit. I think his truck gets sideways. He clips Lofton, and watch Lofton. He almost saves this baby.
I thought he had it saved right there. And so frequently when it goes back the other way, the next time it gets sideways with the front end going left, it's worse.
Look at James Busher just barely slipping by. Johnny Sauter not so fortunate. And watch Miguel Paluto. He's watching what's going on. Going to make a move here to the inside. But then they had one coming up from the bottom as well. It just barely gets hit, though. Not a lot of damage. Good job by Paluto not getting involved in the crash that he was a part of starting.
that he somewhat caused coming out of turn 4.
As you mentioned, look at that contact between Sauter and Lofton.
All four tires.
All four tires on
ground.
Lofton's truck off the ground. Look at the debris flying off the 13 of Sauter.
Well, to ride along with James Busher, see how close this was.
You could see Pluto wiggle. And watch James. Just so fortunate that he was the guy in the middle of the track and Johnny Sauter was on the bottom for Busher.
And that's all James right there. He saw those two trucks get loose. He saw them get together. And then he was able, just by driving that thing, missing it.
That's a sad sight there. That young Johnny Sauter raced so hard last year for a championship. He's a fast guy, and heck, Phil, from the start of the year, things have just gone bad for him.
He was leading at Daytona. I think coming down for the white flag, got turned around into the outside wall, and it's been downhill ever since, it seems like, other than that one big win he had at Texas.
How about the 7 now getting the Aaron's lucky dog? He's back on the lead lap. We saw the 17 get back on the lead lap the last caution.
Well, they both deserve it, man. They were racing so hard for that Aaron's lucky dog, and now Parker Kligerman's going to get his way back on the lead lap. We've watched Timothy Peters take advantage of his lucky dog too. That team was struggling early. He's all the way up to the 13th spot.
This is going to be ugly right here.
Oh yeah, big hit by the 13.
And then quiet until it landed back down on the ground.
Phil, ever since I was a kid, and when I heard that sound, it still hurts me. Like that crunch that you heard, I mean, that just knocks the wind right out of you. And we're so fortunate these trucks and NASCAR in general has made these cars and trucks so much safer. You can walk away from a crash like that. But that was a huge hit that Johnny Sauter delivered into the side of Justin Lofton.
You may wonder why we saw all the trucks going down pit road. That's because it's given the track officials time to clean up the front straightaway. They just took the whole field down pit road.
A lot of debris still on the racetrack. They're cleaning it up. We'll be back. Always fun when we come out to almost the West Coast of Las Vegas. The lights, the glamour, the glitz. And always a wild ride when we come to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And that just taking place by the 6 of Justin Lofton as he got airborne after contact with the 13 of Johnny Sauter. A few trucks taking advantage of this caution, and they are down on pit road. Right. Hermie, sorry, bud.
Yeah, Parker Kligerman just getting the lucky dog, getting back onto the lead lap. They're coming down pit road. They'll put 4 tires. And as we talked about before, when he's been back in traffic, his truck has been a little bit on the tight side, but they got the lucky dog. May as well come down, put 4 tires on, a little bit of fuel, getting back on the racetrack. Ray?
Well, we're trying to find out what the 3 is going to do because they decided they would come back down in here and pit. They're going to pull out on those fenders, working on the left side of that race truck. I'm going to jump on the radio here and listen. Haven't really heard what they said, but it appears they are making an adjustment on the left side, possibly putting a spring rubber in.
Look like maybe, Ray, they could be adjusting on that left front camber, or excuse me, that toe. We talked about he might have knocked his toe off when he got in the left front. They're under the truck on the left side. They pulled the right side fenders out and probably working on the body as well, but I think I see the toe strings over there making, yeah, that's what the gentleman has, the crew member has in the back left.
Well, those long aluminum rectangular pieces.
They run a string from one end to the other, and they were just trying to make sure. I know that Ty hadn't made any progress once the green flag flew after getting hit on pit road. So maybe if they got that toe end straightened around, a little bit of the body work pulled out, he can do something. Another chance to see if this team can help this young man rally.
He only got up to about 14th is all they got before that caution flag came out.
Again, we're under our 7th caution of the night, and it is because of this.
A hard hit right there.
I don't think Johnny Sauter ever had a chance to touch the brake. He was wide open trying to slip to the bottom of the spinning 6 truck of Justin Lofton, and next thing he knows, Lofton's right in his lap.
Ray is standing by with Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, and that was the brand new truck from ThorSport for Johnny Sauter. Did you even hit the brake? That was an awfully hard hit.
Yeah, I hit the brake. Just, I just told Glenn Jarrett there, if anybody's looking for something to do tonight, go on YouTube and type in AJ is pissed, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We got people out here that just quite frankly, shouldn't be racing, and that's how I really feel.
Okay, that's the word from Johnny Sauter. We're hanging out here at the Care Center and see if we can get a word with Justin Lofton.
We know how he feels. We just don't really know what he meant.
we definitely are getting that he's not happy with the situation that he was just involved in. Justin Lofton also has been checked and released from the infield care center.
That was almost the perfect storm off turn 4 with 2 trucks running side by side. Miguel Paludo down on the inside of Justin Lofton. We've seen all night long how hard it is to hold your truck straight on the bottom. And then there was lap traffic ahead as well. So just a tough break.
Right along. We see the back of the 32.
Now we see the front.
Yeah.
Watch him. There goes one that way. Okay, there's some debris, and I'm going to slip through. Oh! Just didn't quite get through the middle, but a good job of managing what he was doing. Kept driving. You heard him on the gas, off the gas, trying to make his way, Miguel Paludo, through. And look what he was seeing in real life.
You can see James Busher. He's going to get by Lofton as he goes down and makes contact with the 13 of Sauter. Miguel Paludo is going to try to go in between them. He had a hole there for a moment till the 6 slid up and caught his left rear quarter panel.
We heard from Johnny Sauter, also out of the infield care center. Driver of the 6, Justin Lofton's with Wright.
Yeah, and we were just looking at this video here. You were cutting that wheel. How hard and how close was it for you to save that thing?
I don't think it was actually as close as I probably thought it was. I should have just turned right, put in the 32 are racing hard. We had the 57 up on top of us, and I think we were both fighting for the same real estate to try to get through there. We had a great truck, you know, really happy to have all the people from the Imperial Valley on board with full plate, and a bummer it had to end this way. I really think we had something to win this.
Any way to change your luck lately?
Just keep racing.
Okay, Justin Lofton okay and released from the care center. That's the really good news.
Young man with a good attitude there. Just keep on pushing forward. He knows he has the talent to win. He won at Charlotte back in the spring, and just put it behind you and keep digging. And just unfortunate. I think he was on the short end of that stick. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just racing on the high side of the track and got run into.
And the important thing is he's running well. He was running well tonight, and he knows that they continue to do that, and the bad luck will go away.
Nelson Piquet Jr. looks as though he's going to choose the outside line for this restart. It'll be Todd Bodine on the inside. How have all of the accidents played out in the points battle taking place? Ty Dillon now is 3 points behind James Busher in the run for the championship.
It's amazing how that's changed. I've been watching that as the race has gone on. Joey Coulter a few moments ago, when he was leading and we had Parker Kligerman and Timothy Peters both a lap down, he had moved up to 3rd, but now as he runs on the racetrack, he's back in 5th.
But all 5 of those trucks, along with Matt Crafton in 6th, are only separated by 43 points. So I like our championship battle. A lot going on. And just think of all the action we've seen tonight. Ty Dillon crashed on pit road. Near misses for some of our point leaders on the racetrack. And boys, we still got 26 laps to go.
25 when they come to the stripe. 25 laps to go. Piquet Jr., Todd Bodine, green flag back in the air.
Talk about the action. Todd Bodine spun out on the first lap, and here he is trying to grab the lead away from Nelson Piquet going into turn 1.
Remember at Pocono when these 2 trucks got together, Todd Bodine and Nelson Piquet Jr. battling up front.
Watch
Bodine.
Matt Crafton. He looks like he wants to go to the bottom.
Bodine still had a good run. He was staying to the inside. And as you mentioned, Matt Crafton in the 88 shuffles the 11 into the middle. Now Todd Bodine battling to stay in the top 5.
Got Coulter on the inside and Mayhew on the outside.
And Mayhew's still dragging that front a little bit, but he's hauling, driving around the outside of Todd Bodine.
Nelson Piquet Jr. has won a truck race. Right behind him, Matt Crafton. Hasn't been to victory lane in 2012.
Oh, Todd got loose in the middle of Mayhew and Coulter. He saves it.
Mayhew on the high side.
Busher looks like he got into the outside wall.
Almost up into the outside wall, the 31. Some dust flying as he got up close to the wall. We don't know if he made contact.
I think there were sparks as well, Rick, so he probably did make a little bit of contact. Look at Todd Bodine trying to hang on to that baby right in the middle of those 2 trucks.
Down the racetrack he goes. Coulter has to go to the apron.
How about the job David Mayhew's doing here in this Kyle Busch Motorsports truck?
Oh, there's a truck to the outside wall. Is that
into the wall? Looks like the 7 of Kligerman.
Just got in there a little bit hot. The thing ran out of room. Scrubbed the outside wall. I don't think that'll do him in. I believe he can rebound from that. Running in the 14th spot when he came across the start-finish line last time.
Scrubbed it pretty good, though, I think, Michael.
Oh,
and into it again.
All right, that one will do him in.
tough for the 7. Parker Kligerman, a strong truck early.
That'll blow that right front tire out. It's enough damage there.
How about this battle for the lead? Crafton goes to the inside.
Nelson Piquet Jr. has it as they go down Nellis straightaway. Here comes Crafton trying to get back to victory lane. He's good on 1.5 miles.
He's got hungry eyes.
Hungry eyes, the description by Waltrip early in this one. Nelson Piquet Jr. still trying to battle on the outside.
How about the lead that time for Matt Crafton? 0.03 of a second was the edge he had over Nelson Piquet Jr. as they raced across the start-finish line. Amazing racing here in Vegas with these trucks.
Crafton trying to come up, take the spot away from Nelson Piquet Jr., but the momentum on the high side keeps the 30 in front as they come down the backstretch.
I'm telling you, caution's out. And who was leading when the caution came out?
That could be Kligerman that caught. Yes, Parker Kligerman's tire blew. We thought it would, and it did. Probably a call there from the spotter or from Parker himself just to get to pit lane.
Put right sides on it real quick. Put right sides on it real quick.
Battling for this championship, you can't afford to blow a tire and run in the outside wall. The damage was done. Needed to come to pit road and fix it. Didn't do so. And I think they're going to have more problems just putting on right side tires, Phil.
Yeah.
Now, we saw in the back of our screen the first time that 7 got into the wall. And then that was the damage after the right front went away.
That's the most recent time he's got into the outside wall.
That ended it for him right there.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
If the right front didn't go, the right rear was going to go.
Should have made a call there just to salvage the losses, Hermie, and get to pit road. Now that truck's tore all to pieces.
Yeah, from what I can see right here, Michael, on the right front, they're trying to pull it out, as you can see, to get the tire on, but also the splitter. You can see right there the splitter right in front of the right front fender is bent up as well. That will be very much changed the handling of this race truck for Parker Kligerman. This team has so much potential. They run up front, lead laps every week. One of these days they're going to put it all together and get to victory lane, but not tonight for the 7 truck.
Yeah, Hermie, it has been a very rough road for Parker Kligerman. After showing dominance at many of our racetracks,
well, dominance
it ended this way.
Dominance at Iowa, too.
Yeah, he probably had the best truck at Iowa. That's what happened. Jennifer Joe Cobb lost an engine. He got in the oil. Here's Kentucky, but he battled back from that spin right there. Ended up with a second-place finish again at Kentucky, but not going to be so fortunate here, I don't think.
Yeah, right front locked up now as he's trying to get back on the racetrack. So it brings out the 8th caution. Out in front, Piquet Jr. and Matt Crafton, your top 2. Welcome back. They go to work on the 7 behind the wall there in the garage area. Parker Kligerman with right side damage. The right front tire wasn't even turning, so they go to work to see if they can get that back out on the track to try to salvage a position or two.
What about a cat that spun early in this race, Travis Pastrana? Now he's going to get back on the lead lap. He's just gotten better and better all night long, Phil, and now he's going to get the Aaron's Lucky Dog, have a chance to race for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be just outside the top 15 when we restart this race.
And Ray, what's going on with another one of our championship contenders, the 3 of Ty Dillon?
Well, Rick, I was at the care center when they pitted that last time, so I ran down and talked to his crew chief. And Marcus told me that the truck was towed out about an inch when he had contact with Todd Bodine. So they came in, they had to string that thing and set the tow on the left front. So he said now it's back to good. The only bad part is they had to give up a lot of track position. So we'll restart in 11th for Ty Dillon when we get ready to go back to green.
This is another great example of a team that's raced for championships before, trying to patch things together. How's the old fantasy standings going, Rick?
Well, I thought you guys were going to bring this up. This is the worst that Ty Dillon has run pretty much all year.
That's because Chris or I didn't pick him.
And how about Ray, our co-leader Ray, has got Parker Kligerman. He's back behind the wall.
It's going to be a new guy on top. Looks like it could be old Mikey.
It might not be.
Do what? I was tied for the lead.
Well, you're going to fall back. Yeah. I bet.
I think things are going to change in the fantasy standings. Well, we still have 17 races to go, or excuse me, 17 laps to go to find out. Not 17 races.
It seems like we've run a bunch of races already. But.
Yeah, but we have. This race has had so many different complexions. But Phil, watch this restart. They'll be 3 wide. It'll look like they're racing at Talladega when they come off turn 2. And these guys are on the edge of control.
I'll be shocked if that 22 truck of Joey Coulter isn't
racing for the lead when they get down to turn number 3.
Maybe even turn number 1.
Maybe even turn number 1.
We're about to find out. Nelson Piquet Jr. scored as your race leader. He gets to choose either inside or outside. He chooses the outside. Crafton on the inside. Then it's Coulter and Bodine. Third and fourth. Mayhew gone in your top 6.
The only way that Piquet holds the lead is if he jumps this baby a little bit early, I think. He's got to go now. Go.
Green flag back in the air at Las Vegas. 16 laps to go.
Watch Coulter pull out.
All the way to the apron for Joey Coulter, trying to take the spot away from Crafton. Just as you mentioned, racing into turn number 1. Coulter takes second away.
How about Brendan Gaughan now jumps to the outside of Todd Bodine?
I believe he's on the
high side. Look at him. There you go, 4 wide. We're not at Talladega, boys. Somebody lift.
They're going to have to give, but right now, Brendan Gaughan's able to take 4th away. He moves up. Crafton running in the 3rd spot. Battle for the lead. Coulter on the inside. Nelson Piquet on the outside. They're 5/1000th of a second separating the two.
Yeah, Coulter actually led that lap now. Oh, look at Crafton now. Jumps to the inside.
3 wide as they come out of turn number 2 for the lead. Nelson Piquet Jr. into the wall as they came out of 2.
But I don't think he lifted, Rick.
He hadn't lifted a bit, but Crafton emerges with the lead. Now Brendan's going to go after Piquet.
Piquet running the middle of the racetrack, trying to hold on to that 3rd spot. After getting up into the wall, coming out of turn number 2. Crafton, your race leader. Coulter running 2nd. Nelson Piquet Jr. 3rd. And Brendan Gaughan, Las Vegas native, in 4th.
How fitting would it be for Brendan to go to victory lane here in Las Vegas? He's already did it one time several years ago.
And look at him. He's all over Piquet. It's going to give Piquet a little bit of a push to go down on the inside of Coulter.
Now Piquet trying to take 2nd away from Joey Coulter. They work the bottom of the racetrack. He gets the spot from Coulter. Crafton loving this back and forth battle behind him, able to stretch his lead out. Now he has a 4/10 of a second lead over Piquet Jr.
Coulter's not going to give that spot up. He's going to fight back on the outside. Todd Bodine's looking to join that battle for 3rd.
And here comes James Busher, too. We talked about his team getting him the adjustments he needs to go race with late in the going. They've given him those adjustments, and now he's going to battle for a top 5. We saw him about get lapped earlier.
Todd Bodine working to the outside of that 2 of Brendan Gaughan. Those 2 racing for position. Now Gaughan jumps in behind the 11. Gaughan losing a little momentum that he had. Now the 31 of Busher all over the back bumper of Gaughan, trying to take the 5th spot away.
Was talking to Brendan in the garage area this morning. They actually have a little bit different setup in that truck. They're doing a little bit of R&D for the rest of this season. Looks like it's not too bad right now.
I like this R&D thing they've got going on.
It's working as he tries to get to the inside of that 11 of Todd Bodine, but Bodine fighting back on the outside. Momentum as they come out of 4. Bodine back in front of the 2.
Watch this draft, though. The 2 hangs onto the left side of Todd Bodine, pulls back even, and even shoots ahead as they go down into turn 1.
Watch Busher now. If Brendan moves up the racetrack, it's going to open the bottom for Busher.
That's exactly what happened. Gaughan moved up the racetrack. Those 2 stay side by side. That's allowing the 31 of Busher to close the gap now as he goes to the bottom of the track.
Guys, you just don't know how hard this is to hang on to those trucks when they're side by side like that. But Brendan's able not only to hang on to it, but he passes Todd Bodine and moves into the 4th spot.
Crafton 10 laps away from another victory in the Camping World Truck Series. He has a 3/10 of a second over Nelson Piquet Jr. Then it's Joey Coulter, Brendan Gaughan, Todd Bodine, your top 5.
Last time by, Piquet Jr. was faster than Matt Crafton. And you know, Phil, he scrubbed the outside wall, but just barely. I don't think enough to do any damage. He's really strong right now. Was just about a 1/2 of a second faster than our leader last time by, and is closing in.
Joey Coulter right now lines up in the 3rd spot. Remember, he was our leader. Last time they came to pit road, put 4 tires on, restarted back outside the top 5. He's fought his way back to 3rd.
Under 9 laps of racing, Crafton, Piquet Jr., Coulter, Gaughan, Bodine, all separated by less than 2.5 seconds from 1st all the way back to 5th.
You know, the interesting thing, Matt Crafton doesn't want to see a caution, but the guy that really doesn't want to see a caution is Piquet. We've watched the guy that starts on the inside of that 1st row be vulnerable every restart. That would put Joey Coulter in a great position to drive around him and maybe make a run on the leader, Matt Crafton. So a lot of guys are hoping for a caution, so they'll have one more shot at him, but our front 2 want to settle it on their own.
Remember, that's where Coulter restarted. He restarted 3rd and actually had the lead at the start-finish line. Now he's back to 3rd.
Trying to hold on to that 3rd spot. Brendan Gaughan running in the 4th position. Todd Bodine back there in 5th, but we're seeing James Busher lurking back there in the 6th spot, trying to break back into the top 5.
Yeah, Ty Dillon now is stalled out about the 10th spot. Right now, if this race were to end, Ty Dillon would have a 1-point lead over James Busher.
And you know, you have to just give it to the crews and also those drivers, James Busher and Ty Dillon. But those crews, they've worked on those trucks all night long. Heck, Ty Dillon was involved in a crash on pit road. They had to adjust his toe in. James Busher's truck looked like one of the slowest ones out there early in the race. And now here he is battling for the 5th place. That's how you win a championship. And both these teams are up for the task.
How about Timothy Peters? We saw him a lap down. Right now he's up back in the top 10 in 8th position.
Got to give a shout out David Mayhew running in the top 10. He's in the 9th spot right now. Miguel Paludo, after being involved in that incident, running in the 11th spot. Grant Infinger filling in at Brad Keselowski Motorsports, running in the 12th spot. Jason White 13th. Travis Pastrana, his first ever truck start, running 14th. Townley and Silas, the other two, still on the lead lap in the top 16.
There's the guy you mentioned earlier, Phil, Timothy Peters. Thought he had a flat tire, came to pit road, lost a couple laps, and here he is battling for a top 5.
Battling for the lead, though. Here comes Nelson Piquet Jr. He's closed the gap, looks to the inside, trying to take the top spot away from Matt Crafton.
Woo.
Boy, he couldn't quite do it. He drove it hard down in the corner.
I don't know if Matt knows that he almost got crashed there by the 2nd place runner, Nelson Piquet Jr. He wants it bad, doesn't he?
And look how much momentum it cost Piquet. He took a run at him. He's lost about 5 truck lengths.
Now coming to the stripe. 4 laps of racing to go, all the way down to the apron. Crafton trying to make this track as short as possible.
I think right now Piquet is going to take another run at him as soon as he can get back to him.
Ooh, I like what Matt did there. We saw Matt Crafton really drive defensively and win last year at Iowa when he took Ty Dillon's line away. That's exactly what that man did right there. He went down in turn 1, felt like Piquet was going to go high. He went high and took that line away.
Piquet goes down to the bottom of the racetrack now, hugging that white line as they come out of 3 and 4. This time by 3 laps of racing to go, under 5 miles left at Vegas.
Right now, Matt Crafton's watching his mirror. He wants to see where Piquet's hands are going to go. Wherever Piquet's going to go, he'll give him the very bottom, but then he's going to pull back down and try to thwart his advance.
And you know, if Matt Crafton wins this race, he did it with a slower truck. Right now, Piquet's got a faster truck. Matt's driving defensively, and so far, he's done it flawlessly.
Last time Piquet Jr. went to victory lane earlier this year, Michigan. It was his first Camping World Truck Series race.
And he coasted home on a fuel mileage race there. If he's able to snag this one away from Crafton late in the going, that's how you want to win a truck race.
Can he get back to victory lane in the Camping World Truck Series? Now looking to the inside, under 2 laps of racing to go. Does he have enough for one final effort to get by Matt Crafton?
Oh, this is a great battle. Those trucks racing each other has allowed the trucks of Coulter, Gaughan, and Todd Bodine to close in some, but they can't get there unless these two get together, and I wouldn't bet against that either.
White flag goes in the air. One more time around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Crafton has a 2 truck length advantage over Nelson Piquet Jr. But now going into turn 1. Piquet Jr. charges down to the bottom of the racetrack, tries to slide in front of the 88, makes the pass as they come out of turn number 2.
He did the slide job on him and it worked.
What a move.
Nelson Piquet Jr. out in front of the 88, going through 3 and 4. Can Crafton steal it back away from Piquet Jr.? It's not going to happen. Coming to the stripe, Nelson Piquet Jr. wins his 2nd Truck Series win.
Holy cow.
That was a win. Yes.
He said that was a win. No fuel mileage involved in this win.
That was a last-ditched effort to grab that baby away from Matt Crafton, and man, he put it right down on the white line and made it work.
Absolutely threw that 30 truck down to the bottom of the racetrack, drove it in harder than the 88 into turn 1, and was able to do the slide jump, going through 1 and 2 in front of Crafton.
You know, Crafton had to be defensive when he was racing against Piquet, and he thought he had done everything properly, but Matt Crafton didn't know that Nelson Piquet had one last-ditch effort that he was going to throw on him.
And he used the apron, Michael. He put that splitter down on the apron to help that truck turn.
Nelson Piquet Jr. gets his first win at Las Vegas in his 3rd start here at this track, and he'll head to victory lane for the 2nd time ever in the Truck Series. He's figuring out how to celebrate after winning in the Camping World Truck Series. Nelson Piquet Jr. burning down those rear tires. Take a look at our Duplicolor Time to Shine shining moment.
This was early in the race when Todd Bodine spun. You see Todd in the 11 truck spinning. Watch right here. That's on the inside. That's Nelson Piquet Jr. together with Cale Gale, and he managed to avoid it.
But this is my favorite part, Phil. He drives down to the bottom of the racetrack, makes a move on the inside. That's cool. We saw that happen all night long. But watch him come off turn 4. Does he want to win this race or what? Into the outside wall, making a move.
And never backed off.
Last lap pass. The 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. dives to the inside of the 88. Steals the win away from Matt Crafton. What a dominant performance by the 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. And I'm sure disappointment for Matt Crafton. Let's hear from him. He's with Ray.
Well, this will be a second place in 3 of your last 4 races at Las Vegas. How tough was that one?
That sucks. Just plain and simple sucks. We had a great truck. I mean, these guys, like, we were really good on the second run. Third run, we got really loose, and the thing was really good right there at the end. And they said 30 was running the top, so I moved to the top and was trying to keep up the momentum that he was, and he got a real good run there off of 4. And like I said, but I can't thank these guys enough. That is a tough, my God, that's a tough one to lose on the last lap. But I can't thank these guys for working so hard. This Menards Toyota Tundra, rip it. I mean, it was, God, that's very, very hard one to swallow. I can't thank these guys enough. And Duke and Rhonda Thorson, damn.
Crafton finishes second for the 29th time. We've had a last lap pass. The winner is Nelson Piquet, and Hermie is in victory lane.
Well, there he is. Nelson Piquet Jr. Again, congratulations from his crew. We'll get him a word here. Now that was a race. Congratulations.
I have no idea what happened. I mean, I said I'm going to give it a last try. I sticked it in there, and God gave me a little bit more grip on the inside, and we made it. It was great. I mean, we really needed this win, and probably the best win of my career. One of, for sure, top 5 moments of my career.
You tried the bottom of the racetrack 2 or 3 times, couldn't get it done. What made the difference on the last lap?
I don't know. Somebody up there gave me the grip when I went down. I knew that the 88 was running a little bit high because it probably was tight. I dived in and managed to keep it down and move in front of him. So it was or win or racking back home. So
let's go right to the right side of the truck. They want to walk around the other side and see. We have some contact with the wall.
Look at that baby.
Looks like you raced at Martinsville as well as Vegas tonight.
No, I mean, one of the restarts when Coulter and the 88, everybody were together, they pushed me to the wall, but I didn't back off. I was wide open. I said, this race is mine. Like Chris said, we're only here to win. That's the only matter. So we made it.
That's Nelson Piquet Jr. He's in victory lane at Las Vegas.
I'll tell you right now, that's a pretty impressive statement when he said this might be my favorite win or my best win ever in my career. He's had an amazing career already.
He's won all over the world.
Yes.
And he said that now in Michigan, too, when he won that race.
Yeah. How about Casey Kane tweeting?
Wow.
That's exactly. Piquet puts a move on in turn 1 on last lap. That was awesome. Turner Motorsports' 7th win of the year, all here in 2012. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World and Good Sam. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, and roadside assistance. A few other people on the social media. Justin Allgaier just tweeted, I don't care who you like. Nelson Piquet just showed how to drive the wheels off a truck. Congrats to Turner Motorsports. Ray Dunlap.
Well, they're pushing the 22 truck out of the way, and I jump in here with Joey Coulter. This team has been on a roll. 6 of the last 7 races, a 7th or better finish. But I have to ask you, at 103, you guys came into pit. You were the leader, decided to go with 4 tires, and went out 7th. When you look back, would you redo that, or was 4 tires still the right decision?
I think 4 tires was still the right decision. With the way the track
was changing for us anyways. We were getting tighter on a long run, and I think we needed 4 to win. I think 2 would have gotten us too tight, and thought we had a good enough truck and thought we were in a good enough place to win. And the 88, I guess he wants to draft with us at Talladega next week, so he was doing a little bit of practice. We'll see how that works out.
Here's a shot, Joey, and I was standing down in your pit, and it looked like he hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing I started dirt racing, because I wrecked about 3 times the 3 times he did it, and luckily didn't hit anything. So, but great night for the 22 guys. I mean, just an awesome truck. Can't wait to bring this thing back out again. It's a great piece. We got another truck just like it that we got sitting at the shop ready to go.
Okay, good things for Joey Coulter. Now let's get back to Hermie.
Well, I got some more of the top 5. Brendan Gaughan and Todd Bodine. Brendan first, solid 4th place run. It looked like for a while you were rekindling some of that 1.5 mile magic.
We got really bad for a while there, and I feel bad to RCR boys. I asked them to do something for me, and the South Point Chevy, I'm not going to say it was quite right yet, but we'll work on it some more. But to come back to 4th, the boys didn't quit. Hermie, we went up, down, rubbers in, rubbers out, shock adjustments. Hardest working team on pit road tonight was the 2 RCR bunch.
That's Brendan Gaughan. He gets 4th. Todd, I know you don't come here to finish 5th, but after all this team has come through, solid night for your 11 team.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Hermie. I'll have to disagree with Brendan, because I think my team was the hardest working team on pit road. We did all the same stuff. We were so loose to start the race, and we took some rubbers out, and we did air pressure, and as typical racers go, we over-adjusted it. And right here, I had somebody on my butt there. It looked like Parker. But that's the way it goes. It just got really loose. I never even caught. But to come back after that, finish 5th, have a shot to the win, we can't complain. The Toyota Care Tundra was fast and just too tight at the end.
And get to go to another one of your favorite places next week in Talladega.
Yeah, I can't wait. We had a great Tundra at Daytona, taking the same one there. A couple little tweaks on it. I think we got another shot at it.
Is there any way, guys, that next week's race at Talladega can top this one?
Yes.
Well,
yes, it can and will.
We had a last lap pass for the win here at Las Vegas. I want to take a look at our Ram Guts and Glory.
I thought we were at Talladega most of the night.
It was a lot of guts and a risk-reward move here. Nelson Piquet Jr. decides to risk it all as he goes by that 88.
It was a great move. He tried that twice, lost his momentum, lost several truck lengths. That time he just drove it in there so hard. He used that apron to turn that thing. Watch right there, you see that apron rubbing. It almost turns that truck, and he was able to keep the throttle down and squeeze out in front of the 88.
You know, when you're in Vegas, you got to take some chances.
He gambled, and it paid off. Victory lane for the 30 team and Nelson Piquet Jr.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series heads to the Talladega Superspeedway. NASCAR's longest track is known for its speed and fast action. With just 5 races left, the points race is hotter than ever. Who's going to have the speed at Talladega to come out on top? Tune in to find out. Chris Devoda hosts the setup, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.
A winning night here in Las Vegas for the 30 team and Nelson Piquet Jr. calling it one of his best memories in racing, taking place as he does a last lap pass. Take a look at our Ford unofficial point standings. Just 1 point separating Ty Dillon and James Busher with 5 races to go.
Yeah, Parker Kligerman took the big hit there. Comes out of here 39 points behind. How about Joey Coulter now up to 4th, highest position he's ever held in the point stand.
And Timothy Peters was able to stop the bleeding a little bit and hanging in this championship battle.
James Busher, one of those drivers you always expect to be running up front on a 1.5 mile racetrack, standing by with Hermie.
Well, you're right, Rick. We're used to seeing you over there in victory lane. I know you're happy for your teammate, but 50 laps to go. It looked like you guys were in trouble, and you guys battled back and only 1 point out of the championship battle.
Yeah, all the way until 50 laps to go, I felt like we were in trouble. You know, I'm happy for Nelson and all the guys on the 30 team and everybody back at the shop, Turner Motorsports. We've won 7 of these truck races this year as a team. So, you know, there's 5 more races. That's 5 more that we have an opportunity to win. So hopefully we can go get them done. But, you know, our Great Clips Chevy was it was loose all night. You know, I was telling Shelton all night that it was loose, and he would tell me what adjustments he was going to do, and I'd say, do more than that. Keep going. I'm scale 1 to 10. I'm like a 7 or 8. So let's go to work. But you you know, they had great pit stops, and even when we were making a ton of changes, passing guys on pit road. So it was a good night for us. In the end, we had to work hard for it, but we were up there. Barely missed the top 5 finish, but I'm happy to be sporting the Great Clips colors and looking forward to the rest of this championship. It's going to be great.
That's James Busher. He's 1 point back, headed to Talladega. Rick?
Thanks, Hermie. And we always talk about the variables, the Martinsvilles, the Talladegas, the Daytonas. Well, that's the next stop. We go to Daytona. Can the momentum stay up for, or Talladega, can the momentum stay up for the Turner Motorsports team? Well, they've got all the momentum right now. Big winners here at Vegas.